where the estate tax rate, which was 55% under President Clinton, will decline to 35% with an exemption on the first $5 million of an individual's estate, $10 million for couples. Now, here's the important point that has to be made, because I think a lot of people don't understand it. And certainly our Republican friends have done a very, very good job in distorting reality on this one. There are millions of Americans who believe that when they die, their children will have to pay an estate tax. That is absolutely and categorically incorrect. As this chart shows, only a tiny fraction of estates from deaths in 2009 owed any estate tax. That number is about 0.24%. Less than 0.3% of American families paid any tax on the estates that they were left. 99.7% of American families did not pay 1 cent in estate taxes. And that's the simple truth. The so-called death tax that our Republican friends talk about a whole lot is the estate tax. 99.7% of families don't pay a nickel on it. And the people who do pay are not the rich. It is the very, very, very rich. And let me just give you one example of the absurdity of lowering the tax rate, or even worse, of ending the estate tax, as some of my Republican colleagues would like to do. And here's this chart, just to give you one example of what ending. This agreement does not do that, it just lowers the rates. But if they were to wipe out completely, as the Republicans want to do, Walmart's owners, that's the Sam Walton's family, Waltons own Walmart, they are the heirs to the Walmart fortune, which is worth, this may be dated, maybe more, maybe less now, about $86 billion. That's what this family is worth. One family, $86 billion. They're doing pretty good. If we abolish the estate tax, as our Republican friends would have us do, the Walton family alone would receive an estimated $32.7 billion tax break if the estate tax was completely repealed. One family, $32.7 billion. This is patently insane. This is insane. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty in the industrialized world. We have massive unemployment. I am trying to get senior 50-plus million people a $250 check. By the way, a $250 check because we have not seen a COLA for the last 2 years for seniors, disabled vets. That would cost in 1 year about $14 billion. The Walton family itself would get more than double in a tax break, what some of us are fighting for over 50 million seniors and disabled vets. So we can't afford to give $14 billion to help some of the people in this country who are struggling the hardest. Can't do that. But somehow we can afford to give $32.7 billion in tax breaks to one of the richest families in this country. If that makes sense to anybody, please call up my office. Because it doesn't make sense to me, and I think it does not make sense to the vast majority of the American people. So under this agreement, the estate tax rate, which was 55% under President Clinton, will decline to 35% with an exemption on the first $5 million of an individual's estate, $10 million for couples. And let us remember again that this tax applies only to the top 0.3% of the families in this country. And this, again, is not just a tax break for the rich, it is a tax break for the very, very rich. And again, this agreement says, well, we're only going to extend this for 2 years. Well, frankly, I doubt that very much. I suspect 2 years from now, the same argument, they will be extending it. And frankly, our Republican colleagues representing the richest people in the world are hell-bent on abolishing the estate tax completely. So those are some of the reasons that I think we should be voting against this agreement. Third, Mr. President, and this is an issue I have been talking about, and I'm happy to hear that there is more discussion about in the last few days, and that is the so-called payroll tax holiday. And what that is about is that this would cut $120 billion in Social Security payroll tax for workers. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a very good idea because the worker, instead of paying 6.2% into Social Security, pays 4.2%. But I think if you think about it for 2 seconds, you really understand that it's not a good idea, because this is money being diverted from the Social Security Trust Fund. And Social Security, in my view, has been the most successful federal program in perhaps the history of our country. In the last 75 years, whether in good times or bad times, Social Security has paid out every nickel owed to every eligible American. Today, Social Security has a $2.6 trillion surplus. Today, Social Security can pay out benefits for the next 29 years. Our goal, and what we must do, is make sure that we extend it beyond 29 years to the next 75 years. Well, if you divert $120 billion from the Social Security Trust Fund and you give it to workers today, what you're doing is cutting back and the viability, the long-term viability of Social Security. That is not just Bernie Sanders raising this issue. There are many people representing millions of senior citizens who are deeply concerned about this proposal, this provision in the agreement between the President and the Republican leadership. The National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare is one of the very largest senior groups in America. They do a very, very good job. I know we have many seniors in Vermont who are members of this organization, and their job is to do what the title of the organization suggests, and that is to preserve Social Security and Medicare. And just the other day, they sent out a news release, and the title of the news release was, and I quote, "Cutting contributions to Social Security signals the beginning of the end. Payroll tax holiday is anything but." And let me quote from Barbara Kennelly, who is a former member of Congress. She's the president, CEO of the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. And what she writes is that, quote, "Even though Social Security contributed nothing to the current economic crisis, it has been bartered in a deal that provides deficit-busting tax cuts for the wealthy." Diverting, and that's what we're doing here, $120 billion in Social Security contributions for a so-called tax holiday may sound like a good deal for workers now, but it's bad business for the program that a majority of middle-class seniors will rely upon in the future. End of quote. Barbara Kennelly, President and CEO. Mr. President, I think many of us should understand where this concept really originated. This is not a progressive idea. This is an idea that came from Republicans and conservatives who want to end Social Security. And I want to read you an interesting quote.
Hello, everybody. We're back. Sorry I'm late. It's easier with these to just start them later. I started a little late because I ordered food, and the food took a long time to come, so I had to wait to eat before I could. Whatever.
Cops. I've been watching you from the shadows for a long time now.
It's great. Thank you.
You are so gorgeous and the perfect human being.
It's a
I
classic.
created a shrine of you in my closet.
It's a classic
out
Liv
of my
posting
unwanted
moment.
bodily substances so that I can be with you even when you are offline.
Thank you, Postmodern Pajama Wrestler, for making a shrine for me. Thank you for the 7 months. What else? People, Maya, thank you for the gift sub.
All cops are bad cops.
Duke Tastreview,
The
thank you for the 9
Illuminati,
months.
the Illuminati, the Illuminati, the Illuminati, the
Society.
Illuminati.
What else? Anxious Comrade, thank you for the 3 months. Oh my, thank you for the 15 gift subs. Sierra Pixel Art, thank you for the 10 gift subs at the same time. Oh fuck. Are we starting with the fucking hype train? Thank you so much, everybody. Oh fuck, hold on, where is it? I got it. You know what time it is? Where is it? Here it is. Let's go. Oh, is it? All VIP Pussy Cigar. Friend of the stream. You get a little. It's a diamond, right? Theory, thank you for the 2 months. You get a little diamond next to your name, so people know you're cool. Cybergunk, thank you for the 10 months. We will be doing bingo in a second. What food did I order? I ordered sushi. It was very good. Classic bourgeois Liv posting. Anxious Comrade, thank you for the 7 months from before. I think I got everyone. Yes, Maya and Sierra, thank you so much for the gift subs. Anvilize, thank you for the... Oh, I guess you just activated your thing? Oh, thank you for the 100 bits. Finally got the 1k bit badge. Oh yeah, Dr. Doubles, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Let's go. Laser Cop, thank you for the 4 months. Alingas, thank you for the gift sub. We love to see it, folks. Very exciting day. Lots of hype. Louder? You want it? You want this louder? Okay, I'll turn it up. 92%. Can we get to level 5? Hey, Chelsea, how's it going? Lopez, thank you for the 200 bits. Lazy Steady, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Oh, fuck. I can't even talk. There's so many gift subs. We love to see it, folks. Thank you so much. Daddy Niels, thank you for the 8 months. I was gonna say something, but I can't remember. Eraser got the gift sub. Is that a Trump supporter? That's very funny. I mean, this is what I was saying. I was expanding my brand so that conservatives can do the lib thing to liberals as well. You know, everyone who doesn't like libs should have access to the lib emote. That's only fair. Sushi is bourgeois. The whole island of Japan is bourgeois. Druck, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Rene Ramon, thank you for the 200 bits. Let's go. Almost level 5, and I upped it so that it's a harder hype train now. This Hana 50k, that's insane. Yeah, he's like a news anchor at that point. This is a silly stream, I agree. I've been saying this. Oh yeah, I was trying to get you can do a thing where you get emotes if you give a certain amount of bits. And the copy emote, where it's me pointing at the screen and it says cop, I'm gonna add as the 1k, but I don't know how to do it. I think it's a pain to add, so I'll have to look into that. We will be doing bingo in a second, after the hype train. We will set it up. Chelsea, thank you for the 5,000 bits. Thank you so much. Thank you for the bougie Bezos buck. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Follow Chelsea if you don't already, of course, on Twitch. Friend of the stream. Please add TPS for bits while you're at it. Text to speech? Oh, you're right. I have to do that. Yeah, what else? I think Angela's linked me something with this 100 bits. Let me find out. Oh, did you ooh-woo size the I've been watching you from the shadows thing? That's great. I love that. And we hit level 5. We love to see it, folks, don't we? We love to see it. Thank you so much, everybody. That's insane. Please turn this off. Never. No. This is like the anthem of the stream at this point. I might cycle in something else for Hype Train so that we don't get sick of it. But the lizard will never go. I will never remove the lizard emote. Initially, thank you for the 200 bits. Xanattax, thank you for the 4 months. Maybe some KK Slider? Yes, that was good. That was a good one. Who's the 420 sub? Everyone is. I guess most people, given how many fucking gift subs we got. Blizzard is the 420th. Absolutely. You timed out, Jordan? Ray, why'd you do that? Kodak, thank you for the 10 gift subs. PogChamp, 173%. We love to see it, folks. Why did Ray, why did Jordan get timed out? What did they say? Manjo, thank you for the 4 months. Real PogChamp hours. I also have a drink. It's not a drinking game because I don't think I'm allowed to do those.
Posting time. Posting Harden. Posting
I'm allowed to
Harden,
drink on
posting
stream though,
Harden.
because I am of age. That's legal. Many people are saying. Oh, GDM is saying. You have no choice. You have to flex. You have to flex. Let everyone know all the power you have. Oh, it's Dr. Doubles. Thank you for the $4.20 and the very long donation. Yeah, I'm very excited for the debate. I don't know what's gonna happen. I really have no fucking clue. And we'll talk about it because I guess I'm supposed to do that. I was about to start. I really have no clue what's gonna happen. You make a video of you doing the lizard dance? Damn, I don't know if I can pull it off. But you know, maybe. We'll see. I'll give it a shot. I'm not a very good dancer. I feel like I wonder which rapist will win. Yeah, the question is which senile, rapist politician is gonna, I guess, slightly outperform the other one. It's really not. I think. Thank you so much for the hype train, everybody, and the shit ton of gift subs and bits you gave. It means so much. That's amazing. Very good start to the stream. Very excited for the debate. 62 subs and only 700 bits. I think it was more than that. I think that's glitched. But thank you, everybody. Okay, reset. All right, back. We're back. Start of the stream.
Bad cops.
HII.
I'll mute these because there's gonna be a bunch of them. It sucks that the Azerbaijani and Armenian war. Is it so the border clash is like escalating? What's the bingo card? Oh, watch this. Thank you. You linked this before, Anvilize.
Hey everybody, Ben.
How to add bid emotes. Oh, okay. This is like how to do that. Right. Okay. I won't watch that on stream, but I'll watch that and do it. Okay. Yeah. What are we expecting with the debate is the question. Yesterday I was playing Among Us with a couple people on Bad Bunny stream, and I gotta credit her for this because she thought of this. Is Biden is gonna like turn to Trump and walk up to him, forgetting that it's a debate, and start like grabbing him by like the collar or whatever, because he likes to do that when he like is in like a debate with someone and he disagrees with them. So I think there's a very solid chance that something like that's gonna happen. I also do think. And we can start the bingo thing because we're going to do a bingo, and I want to make it sort of hard. I want to make them pretty specific. Like this is going to be a challenge. We have 2 other debates in the future if we want to make it easier, and maybe it'll be more predictable how those debates are going to go. Fonz, thank you for the 420 bits. Liv Hoaxing is a weird name. Oh yeah, I should add an emote of Hoaxa just to honor him. Bingo generator. Here we go. Generate. Another prediction I've had is that Biden is gonna shit his brain pants. The pants in his brain. He's gonna shit them, and then he's gonna shit his real pants, and then Trump is gonna see Biden shit his pants, and just like as an automatic response, Trump is also going to shit his pants, and then they're gonna yell at each other about who has more shit in their pants. And OAN will say that actually Trump didn't really shit his pants. It was more of a shart. And that Biden fucking made an absolute mess of his pants and they have to throw out the pants. Fox will say it's a wash or whatever. And then CNN will say that actually Russia slipped some sort of laxative in Biden's ice cream before he started the debate because Of course, I assume everyone of my followers follows Biden on Twitter, and follows him closely, will know. He posted this. It's debate night, so I got my earpiece and performance enhancers ready. Because there's like a conspiracy that he's got an earpiece, and that he's gonna be on like drugs or whatever. So it's classic ice cream, and he's listening to tunes. I'm loving that he's also got like the extender thing. So Biden is on. He's definitely got an iPhone, which considering that Tim Cook is gay, kind of impossible to say that he hates gay people. I think that's how that works. Yes, this is Jenny's is owned by Zenny Jardin or whatever the fuck that person's name is. Yeah. So we can start with this. We can get this going. Oh, wait, fuck. My card is ready. Oh, I forgot to edit it. Hold on. I just type. Here we go. Here is the card. Only true debate. Biden's gonna make fun of the way Trump drinks water. That would be a good one. Biden is gonna call Trump the R word, and CNN's gonna run a piece about like why Biden was actually right. Another possibility is that they're gonna provide both. Oh yeah, 750 is gonna be mentioned. We can put that immediately. They're gonna mention or they're gonna give a piece of paper and a pencil to both Trump and Biden, and whoever can competently or at least whoever is better at drawing a clock will get the presidency. They're going to throw away the elections. We don't need those. They don't matter. That's what is whichever one has whichever one's dementia has had less of effect on their visual temporal skills will get the presidency. I like the comic. Thank you for the 3 months. Any gays in the chat? We got any gays in the chat? Gays sound off? Oh yeah, there's gonna be probably a question about Hunter. These are the easy ones, I think. A free slot. I wonder what's the free slot? Dumb and Awful, hey, how's it going? We are absolutely filling out some bingo. 750. Taxes counts as 750. Oh, Trump uses Stone Cold. Yes. Trump says Stone Cold is a good one. It's obscure, but it's good. I like it. In case you don't know, Trump has been using Stone Cold as a descriptive. I don't know, fucking calling Biden Stone Cold stupid, for instance. Hutch, thank you for the 4 months. I have Twitter for a while, but I haven't seen you posting much. Oh yeah, I don't really go on Twitter anymore. Sort of done with that. Trump mispronounces Antifa. See, I like that one because it's very clearly gonna happen. I want some more. We got a while for this. Let's get into some very specifics. Breadwave, thank you for the 7 months. Trump brings up you ain't black. That's true. That's a good one. The vaccine comes up. Yes. How about Biden accuses Trump of pushing a bad vaccine? Because that's got to be the most absurd way. Oh, protester in the audience. Yeah, totally. Oh well, yes, SCOTUS is mentioned is that's an easy one. We can sprinkle in a couple easy ones, but I want one of them falls down. Is there no audience? Oh, you're right. Of course there isn't an audience. Coronavirus. The freaking Cheeto screwed it up, so there's still a problem. Some reference to QAnon. It'd be funny if George Soros was mentioned, although I think that's a little too on the nose. Drug addictions are mentioned. Biden will talk about being Catholic. Biden says, "Come on, man." Oh, Biden fucks up when he tries to say RBG is good. That's good. When trying to say RBG. If he fucks up any acronym, I'm gonna count this. That's the metric. The mediocre coder. Thank you for tier 1. Trump says everyone should have access to healthcare. That would be good. Biden says if you aren't voting for me, you ain't black. There's some reference to you ain't black. Yeah. Some reference to you ain't black. I spelled the reference wrong. Oh, Biden shits his brain pants is another one. That's like almost a free space. Venezuela. The word communist is far left shark. Thank you for continuing your gift sub. How about why is this so tiny? What the fuck happens? What? Potentially a reference to or Biden
All
accuses
cops are bad cops.
Trump of not
Call
being
me
good enough.
old-fashioned, but I was
of
raised
an
to serve my
imperialist.
queen. Clean for her.
I've been saying
Cook
this.
for her, and everything I do is for her. And if she cheats, that is on me.
That's on you.
She caught me slipping, and I will apologize and do better.
Of being bad imperialist. Listen, Mac. Come on, man. Gotta get those numbers up. Gotta get the murder count. Just come on, man. Not enough drone strikes. That's probably gonna happen. You know, you weren't. Oh, Biden calls Trump a fake billionaire. Trump is a fake billionaire. That's a classic. China virus is like. Oh, Biden has bleedy eyes. Biden bleeds out his eyes again. Some rupture in his eyes. That's a good one. Yeah, I guess 750 is the free spot. Yeah, 750 is the free spot. I agree. That's gonna happen. Minus 750 Papela. Oh yeah, Ukraine. Oh, where's Hunter is basically Ukraine. Oh yeah, Biden gets extremely mad. Like borderline challenging him to a push-up contest. Oh yeah, Russia from both people. So obviously Biden accuses Trump of being a Russian asset. Oh, is my mic kind of low? Is it? I don't think so. I think it's fine. But was I like away from it? Biden accuses Trump of being a Russian asset, and then Trump is like, why was your son taking $3 million from the fucking, what is it? The mayor of Moscow's wife? That's a good one. Oh yeah, Trump accuses Biden of being on one. Just goaded off the sticks. Why is it so tiny? Gotta get that text bigger. What the fuck? Oh, I fucked that up. There's literally no way defund the police is gonna be mentioned. Why is it so teeny? Is that? Oh. Is that better? I don't know why that's better, but I'm just gonna not put a space there. That's on one. That's what it says.
All cops are bad
Connor,
cops.
thank you for the 4 months.
Evening, Liv. Extremely excited for this posting cozy.
I'm so excited. Because I have no attachment to what happens. I despise both members. Trump says he loves the blacks. Yeah, that's very specific, and so it's good. Oh fuck, what did I want this to be harder, because it makes it better when we get a bingo. Folks, I love the blacks. Because that's something that could happen. Hillary Clinton is on MSNBC right now. Oh fuck. Jeez, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna pull that up. Jamie, pull up Hillary Clinton. We'll get back to this in 1 sec. We can do it as we watch Hillary Clinton. MSNBC Live. NBC.
And playing to what
So
what he is.
Does anyone have an MSNBC link for? I don't see it. For the stream. Because I need to see. Podesta is like a good secondary, but Clinton is like we get to see what she looks like 4 years off
All
of
cops are bad
PF
cops.
Sales. Thank you for the 4
Early
months.
in because a candidate breaks.
Did I get baited? Don't do SCOTUS mention. It's literally topic they had ahead of time. Okay. That's cheating. Yeah, you're right. Biden tells 3. Okay. I might have gotten baited there. I guess I just believe anything you guys say. So I shouldn't do that. Can someone, any gifters for Chelsea? I can give you a sub. I got you. It's half off for me. How do I do this? Hold on. What else? Keep the suggestions coming, folks. We want funny answers and very specific ones.
All cops are bad
Jerry
cops.
Seinfeld, thank you for the 4 months. Oh, it's real? Oh, it is real. Okay. Oh God.
This big advantage of having been a so-called
Oh, go
reality TV
Goth
star
Soft Girl. Thank you for the
and
gift
been in
sub.
people's living rooms
Thank you.
on their TVs for a number of years before he ran has pretty much run its course. I think his series is about to be canceled because
This is what you look like 4 years off
it's just the
adrenochrome.
same story over and over again. Lying with impunity, attacking when you have nothing to say, unable to give an answer that is frankly coherent.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
a
think
very
that,
specifically Trump
Joe
thing.
knows all that. I know the people.
I don't
who've been
think Joe
working with
knows
him and
anything.
preparing him. They're well aware of how
Let me add another
Donald
window
Trump
capture.
behaves on a stage. But I think the American people are also aware of it. And, you know, you can only
There we go.
lie so many times. You can only try to avoid responsibility so
We can
many
start a-
times when finally people are going to be looking at each other.
Why
and
doesn't
saying,
she
you know,
just
we've
go
seen
away?
this before,
People hate her so
and
much.
We're not buying it this time.
Oh, Trump mentions. Oh yeah, Hillary Clinton is mentioned. It's gonna happen, especially because if I'm sure Trump is watching fucking news stuff. Yeah, Benghazi ain't going away. Actually, we can remove this window capture, and I'll just push this over here. Oh, Biden says malarkey. Yeah. Oh, why is this? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. This one's bold for some reason. It's bold because of how important malarkey is. Did I spell malarkey wrong? Oh, I did. Scuffed bingo? When is it not scuffed? This is the least scuffed bingo we've ever done. Trump mocks Biden in the same way that he mocked the disabled reporter. Yeah, I mean, I'll put that. Either one of them basically calls the other one the R word. Like, they're not going to say the R word, but they're going to, like, one of them does an ableism to the other. Let's say that. Because it's not going to be quite the R word, but I think it's going to be, yeah. Yeah. Call, you know, Trump calls Biden slow. Biden calls Trump slow. Biden calls Trump a Cheeto is good. I like that. I like that. What else? Trump disses Bo's military service. Oh, 94 crime bill. That's sort of just gonna be a part of this. She's back out. I couldn't find the MSNBC Live. Maybe if I search Hillary Clinton.
That middle class families.
No, this isn't. I don't know, folks. Oh, if it's not on YouTube, that might be sketchy. I might just not do that. Live News Mag is sort of. The general rule is it's totally fine if it's being streamed on YouTube. Although some news sites get mad. Is that what Hassan is using? Oh, okay. Then I'll use it. Sure.
Makes headlines as the president takes
Oh my
the debate
God.
stage. Joining us once
Here
again
we go.
is former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Madam Secretary, thank you again for being here.
All
I
right.
almost hesitate to ask you your reaction to them doing this, but I must.
Okay.
Sure, why not? I mean,
I'm just chilling
it is
on
a sign of
MSNBC.
such desperation by the Republicans, and it also is a reminder
There we
that Donald
Okay,
Trump
we can keep going.
knows
I'm
that
just
the Russians helped
chilling.
him win in 2016, and that is
Awesome
almost
fucking
the
it's the
biggest
Russians.
reason he wants to, go back to it time and time
Maybe
again, because
Trump
he
says
can't
that
come to
Biden
grips
is a
with the
puppet
fact
of a
that,
communist.
there will always be an air of illegitimacy around the 2016
Around
campaign.
liberal democratic
And
systems.
He also is always
I
trying
don't
to
know.
change
Why
the
won't she go
subject,
away?
trying to
It doesn't help.
somehow cast
It doesn't look
aspersions
like
on
no one
anyone.
likes
I
her.
happen to be one of his favorite subjects.
Everyone
for
fucking hates
aspersion
her. People hate her
but
more than
mostly
Trump
it's
does.
just
Trump,
pathetic
they
and
hate
a
her
sign of
more
their
than they hate Trump
desperation.
right
They
now.
know they're
She's a
losing,
lower
and
approval
they're
rating.
not just losing in the presidency.
What was this?
They're losing in the Senate. They're losing across the board.
She did for 3
because I think
years.
the American people are taking
She,
a hard
no, she didn't
look
go
at
away.
Donald Trump
She really
and his
skipped. What was I
Republican
saying here?
enablers
I literally
and
forgot.
saying,
All
wait a
cops are
minute.
bad
I mean,
cops.
Harsh
we
Malarkey,
can't
thank you
let
for
this
7
go
months.
on.
Theory more
I may have
palatable. Keep it
disagreements
up,
with
Queen
Democrats, with
This
Joe
is
Biden or
Marxist
somebody
theory.
else, but
She wrote a
let's
fucking
try to
book.
get back
Oh
on
yeah, Trump
some
says Biden's a
sensible
puppet of
track where we
communists.
can begin to solve our problems, work with each other, and move past this nonsense that Donald Trump
You'll never
has
go
been
back.
promoting for
You'll never go back.
years now.
You open
Madam
Pandora's
Secretary,
box.
Nicole again, and that is
You'll
the
never
political
close it.
side of this, but I
You'll
wonder
never
if I
get the
could
chicken
press you on
grease off the
national security
Constitution.
side. I mean, the truth is Ron Johnson's committee in the Senate is trafficking in what Donald Trump's own intelligence folks describe as Russian disinformation about his current opponent, Joe Biden. We
Okay,
also know
what
from
else? What else?
a blur of new books that have all debuted on Rachel's show that
Oh,
one,
yeah.
the
Biden
counterintelligence
flanks Trump on the
investigation
left in
into
some
Donald Trump
issue.
never proceeded at the Mueller probe. Peter Strzok said yesterday that
Oh, sorry,
this
Trump
tax
flanks Biden.
story makes Donald Trump a current counterintelligence threat. And I just wonder what you think right
Not
now
on everything,
today as
but
we
on
sit
at
here,
least
the
one
current
thing.
threat to our country's national security is from Donald Trump and all of his debt
Mention of
and all
weed
of
is
these
good.
unresolved investigations.
Has Trump said that because Biden said he wants to
Nicole,
decriminalize
thank you for
it.
asking that, and thank you for always raising it on your show, because you know very well, given your experience, that Donald Trump is a clear and present danger to the national security of our country. He has demonstrated repeatedly that his first allegiance is not to the United States of America. He has been uncommonly,
like Law and Order the
some might
most?
even say uniquely, beholden to
The meeting will end in
Russia,
10 minutes.
to Putin, and he has been willing to disregard his intelligence services, the FBI, and everyone else.
Oh yeah.
Who has
Biden says he's
legitimate
more pro-fracking.
about the relationship.
Biden
One of the
says he
questions that I
likes
hope either,
oil more
Chris
than
Wallace
Trump.
or Joe Biden poses tonight is, who do you owe that $421 million to? If you take the pieces, Nicole, of the puzzle here,
All right.
it appears
We're almost
pretty
there. We got a
clear to
few
me,
more.
and,
Do I have
to
him
a
saying
lot of
"Come on,
people,
man"?
That
Biden
Russian
says, "Come on,
money
man."
was funneled through Deutsche
I mean, that's
Bank.
like basically.
Russian money was used as guarantees for
That's basically
continuing
a free
lending
spot.
to Trump and his organization, despite his terrible track record financially, and now we know much more about it because of the tax
Trump says women will
revelations.
vote for him.
So who do you owe that money to?
That's good.
We know the most important thing to
Oh,
Donald
the
Trump is
suburbs?
money. It seems to be
All cops are
his
bad
North
cops.
Star.
Happy anniversary
So
to me. There should
is
be a
that part of the
COVID-19
reason why you
related
have
square.
undisclosed
Lizzo
conversations
AW,
on a
happy
regular basis
anniversary.
with
Thank you for
Vladimir
the 5
Putin?
months. Yeah, COVID
Is
is,
that
yeah.
part of the reason why you do his bidding and undermining the
What
EU,
would it be about
NATO,
COVID?
our friends,
China
and
virus is
alliances?
like a
If we
obligation,
don't take
or like
that
a
threat
that's
seriously,
gonna absolutely
and I
happen.
hope the American people do. This is,
Um,
not some foreign
else could we
policy
put?
luxury.
More
This
specific,
is a
more
necessity
specific.
for us to get right, and the press, I hope, stays on it. Then the danger that
Biden
he poses
says-
continues all the way up until the time he leaves office. And
Jerusalem
it
embassy
was
is
always
good.
something that I worried about back in 2016. It has been something I've continued.
oh yeah,
to
Biden
worry
insults
about.
Bernie.
And the fact that there was
That would be
never a
awesome.
counterintelligence investigation. There was never a follow the money investigation. The two big
what
pieces
else?
of the
What
puzzle
else?
are yet to be fully
Biden
revealed. but
calls
we
it the
know
China
enough to
virus?
see the shape of it, and it's a very frightening one.
Secretary Clinton, it's Joy again.
It's degenerate. Thank you for the 200 bits.
Sort of, you have the
Put WAP on
advantage or
there.
maybe the disadvantage.
That
of
would
having
be-
known
that's a
Donald Trump
throwaway.
for
That's
quite
a
some
throwaway.
time. You debated him 3 times, and so you're in
Biden
a very
walks
unique
off
place
camera.
to sort of speak to this issue.
MSDNC.
Donald Trump has
That one's definitely
typically
gonna
worked
happen.
from the point of view of negative obsession.
Yeah, I beat the
Obviously,
socialists,
as you've mentioned,
which
a
is
negative
Biden
obsession
insulting
with you,
Bernie.
a negative obsession with President Obama, and that he's able to pivot off of that and sort of use that as his way of attacking. What do you expect
Mention
tonight?
of Obamacare.
Because his negative obsession isn't so much with Joe Biden
Anarchist
as it is with his
cities.
son.
These are
You
good.
know, and
These
Joe
are all
Biden's
good.
family means so much to him. He's had so much loss, and he's so emotional about his family. What advice would you give
The
to
COVID
Joe
one,
Biden in dealing with somebody who's going to take
oh,
out that negative
Trump says
obsession and
Biden
that
fucked
nastiness,
up
not so
cor-
much necessarily on Biden himself, but on his sole
Biden
surviving
fucked
son?
up.
Joy,
What's it called?
I think that is something
The
to
previous
expect tonight.
pandemic.
I think the accusations, the innuendo will fly
That
fast
sort
and
of wasn't
furious
Ebola.
from Trump. I think that Joe addresses
Yeah.
it once.
Or swine flu,
It's
swine
not
flu,
true.
swine flu.
You know it's not true. It's been proven to be not true.
Yeah.
And just don't take the bait.
He's gonna say
You know,
that
what
more,
Joe
more
has
likely than
been,
Ebola.
Really good at in the last months.
What has he been good at,
you know,
Queen? Go off, let us know.
Impassioned, even angry on behalf of the American people.
Come on,
That's
man.
what a leader is.
Vote for
has
someone
to
else,
do.
you
I mean,
fucking
there's
idiot.
A lot of slings and arrows that go with running
It's
for
my
office
favorite,
and being
my
in
favorite
office.
impassioned Biden moments.
And clearly, Trump is quite a
Grabbing that
master at,
Iowa
you know,
voter
trying
by the
to
collar
find those pain
when he asked
points
about when they
and,
asked him about the
poke
environment
them
and
and
saying,
prod them,
"Why don't you go vote for
to
Donald
try
Trump
to get
then?"
a reaction, or at least to sort of leave with the audience the wrong impression, another lie,
Like
but it
here,
will live on
Biden
social
says
media.
Blue Lives Matter.
So I think Joe has been
It would be
well
if he said All Lives
prepped and
Matter.
briefed and
Lizzo,
practiced a lot
AW,
on
thank you for
these
the 5 gift
kinds of
subs.
personal
Pog.
issues because we know that's who Donald Trump is. He doesn't have much else to say.
I'm gonna
He
say
can't defend
someone
the
says
terrible
All Lives
record of the
Matter.
last 4 years. So he is going to attack Joe. And
It
I
would be
think
the
Joe,
funniest if Biden said
is not
it.
going to take that bait. Although it's
Oh
hard.
yeah.
I mean, you are absolutely
Mention
right,
of
Joy, when,
QAnon.
you know,
How about
somebody's
that?
attacking
Trump is
the
gonna.
people you
Biden is gonna
love,
like
when
attack Trump on
somebody's
QAnon.
attacking, your son who's gone through so much in his life.
Okay.
And
This is good,
making
right?
Up stuff and,
Are we happy about
going
this?
almost mercilessly
We happy,
after him.
folks?
It's hard.
Any-
to,
any-
you know,
any
brush it
critiques?
off and go on. But the American people are tuning in
I think they're
tonight
gonna
to
mention Q.
have,
I think
at
Biden's
least
gonna
one
talk
of
about Q.
The last 3 looks at Joe Biden as their potential president, and
I think that's gonna
I think
happen.
That's what Joe wants to get across.
Unpolled the malarkey
empathy,
one.
the compassion,
Are you implying that
the
malarkey isn't the
toughness that
most
he
important
brings,
thing?
to the job?
I don't
Former Secretary
understand
of
how I
State
did
Hillary
this.
Rodham Clinton, her new podcast.
You guys saw
is
me do
called
it.
You and Me Both.
Oh,
And I can
God,
hear
she's a
her- I
fucking
can hear her voice
podcast.
saying it in that title. It debuts today on iHeartRadio. Madam Secretary, congratulations on
That's
that.
rough.
And it's an honor to have you with us on such an important night for our country. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you all. Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
We are less than 15 minutes away now. We're just going to take.
All right, Hillary's. We don't care anymore. Let me just do this and then. Okay. So this is good, right? We like this. Any critiques? The Clinton cast? Yeah, I that's rough. How specific? I mean, Trump, that like Biden references QAnon. Says like, listen, Mac. Yeah, Seth Rich is mentioned. Yeah, he's like, listen, Mac. Come on, man. You believe in this? You know, you enable this white supremacist. You know, this theory. That's probably gonna happen at one point. Maybe there'll be a CNN question about it, because this is the Fox News debate, so there won't be probably a question about QAnon. At some point, I want to have mention of QAnon on all three of the debates until we get it, because it's gonna happen. I think we're good though. Yeah, Biden mentions Kierkegaard. I think we're good. We betting subs on the bingo? Are you allowed to do that? We might not be. I think we're gonna okay, generate. Here we go. Here's the URL. Here it is, folks. I forgot to title it, but who cares? That's the link. I'll put it in the commands or whatever. I'll put it in the commands, ! Bingo.
What the fuck did you just fucking say?
Dear, thank you for the five more gift subs, Pog. And Swoopaloopo, thank you for the raid. Oh, what the fuck is happening? Ah. Oh, can you all fucking control it? God damn it! I shouldn't have linked you. Fuck. All right, I'm generating a new one. If I link it to you, then you can fucking... I was like, what's going on? This is communism? This is anarchism? Alright, you don't get the link. Since you guys don't know how to behave, you don't get the link. How about that? Okay. Let's move this around. Put this over here. And then here.
Donald Trump shit
Here it
his
is.
fucking pants.
I'll make this a little bit bigger. Maybe like that. There we go. Bit bigger. Okay. We're ready. That's not a boomer. I'm handling this very competently. Very, very competently. No fuck ups. Alright, there was a little fuck up, but it's just because I didn't understand how the bingo thing worked. Look at O. What do you mean O? Okay, presidential debate. Let's find something on YouTube, because that feels... CNN.
Kind of presidential demeanor, and talk to the country about the future that he envisions and the change that he would bring.
Let's put this up.
Trump is going to be relentlessly asymmetrical. He's going to attack from every angle. And the question is, how does Biden handle that? How does he pivot from these insults and attacks to what he wants to talk about how
ready to
he
go.
would lead the country in the future, and not go
Let's
down
go.
those rabbit holes that David was talking about before.
Let's see this top tier analysis.
You're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar.
Here's a playlist of streams. Oh, thank you.
Showman versus statesman. That's what you're going to see. And you're going to have a man of character.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't do CNN, because they don't... yeah, hold on.
Hijinks.
I'll do another one. Fox Business. I'll just do Fox Business. Yeah.
On behalf of
CNN is sort of weird about...
It is my pleasure to welcome you to the city of Cleveland. Tonight, you join us
Do you
in the
C-SPAN?
beautiful Sampson Pavilion of the Health Education Campus at Cleveland Clinic.
All right.
We share this... Thank you very much.
We'll do C-SPAN. Okay. Fucking... This is not my fault. This is Streamlabs' fault.
On behalf of Cleveland Clinic, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the city of
Slightly
Cleveland.
delayed.
Tonight, you join us in the beautiful Sampson Pavilion, Health Education Campus at Cleveland Clinic.
Okay.
We share this campus with our
Is there a
partners
rumor Eric
from
Trump
Case
is gay?
Western Reserve University. This building is very special to us.
Let's
it
see.
was
All
opened
cops are bad
just
cops.
a year ago.
MBV,
as a
thank you for
place
the Twitch Prime.
students,
Our business
medical,
bucks.
nursing, and dental to begin their professional journeys, by learning together.
Tom Mihailovich.
As we were opening this campus, none of us could have imagined.
We love to see it. That's a Slavic representation.
Face a worldwide pandemic. When it happened, we converted.
All right, folks, let's go. Wait, hold
into
on.
a COVID-19 surge hospital. The space in which you are sitting right now had 1,000 hospital beds. We called it the Hope Hospital. Thankfully,
Can someone find out if he's a Croat or a Serb? I want to know if I like him or not.
This building serves
That's satire.
In support of our democracy, and it is a historic occasion for us and for our city.
Let me add.
We are proud to support the Commission on Presidential Debates as their health security advisor.
I'll boost the volume on this.
We've been serving the health needs in Cleveland since 1921, nearly 100 years. Yet, our organization and our caregivers have never shone brighter than during this pandemic.
There we go.
The pandemic has brought out the best of our organization and our caregivers, of our city and our state.
This is all just
through partnership and collaboration.
He's a Croat, damn.
We see how much we can accomplish when we work together.
Alas.
And we are particularly
now it's better.
proud of our partnership
Increase
with
the
Case
volume.
Western Reserve University. With that, I would like to introduce my colleague and friend, President of Case Western Reserve University, Barbara Snyder.
Thank you, Tom.
Croats are somehow more
Case
fascist
Western
than Serbs.
Reserve
Absolutely.
is honored to co-host
100%.
this presidential debate with our partners at Cleveland
Couldn't have said it
Clinic,
better myself.
and delighted to show you this spectacular space we created together. Research has long shown
all
that
this is
team-based
just-
healthcare leads to better
I don't care.
outcomes for
I don't
patients.
care.
Yet nearly every academic
Team-based
institution
healthcare. I have
continues
no
to
clue.
prepare students in separate buildings, literally in silos. Yet after spending years
I have no
learning
clue what
only
this
with
is.
students from the same profession, doctors with doctors,
I'm just gonna
nurses
assume this
with
is like-
nurses, and so on, they are suddenly expected to know how to work
I'm
in
gonna assume
teams
this is
once they
reactionary
get their diplomas.
because it's hosted by
We
Fox.
knew there had to be a better way, and together we built it.
What is this?
When not filled with a stage and seats, this atrium
Case
gives hundreds
Western
of
Reserve
students
University.
a huge open space to study, talk, and simply be together. The entire
it's like-
building provides
it's like normal med
multiple
school, but you
spaces for
can-
them to come
but
together,
everyone has to,
supported
like,
by
hold
an
each other's
academic
hands.
model that emphasizes opportunities to learn with and from
Yeah,
one
we're
another.
waiting. We're waiting. 6
Add
more minutes, I
state-of-the-art
think, for the debate.
technology, and we know our graduates will be uniquely prepared to excel in team-based care and ultimately to lead it. Along the way, Cleveland Clinic and Case
No one
Western
cares.
Reserve also learned from one another.
No one
Among
cares.
the most valuable lessons
This isn't gonna
was
be as
that
funny as
through
you think. Probably not.
collaboration, we achieve
Probably
far
not.
more than either of us could achieve alone.
Can you not
Thank
read
you,
the-
Tom,
look
for
at the
being such a
Biden says
wonderful
malarkey.
colleague and friend.
I mean, who
Thank
knows?
you to the
I
commission
actually
for
don't know what to
giving both
expect.
of our
I
organizations
genuinely don't.
the opportunity to be part of this historic event. It is
They're
a
a
true
part of the
privilege to
event?
contribute to our nation's democratic
How are they
process.
contributing?
And thank you all for watching.
The bingo card is cut off? No, it isn't. You can see it all. It's sort of lopsided, so I can fit it all in, but you can see everything.
Thank you, Tom and Barbara, very much.
Oh, there we go.
Most valuable player award for this
All the
evening goes to
spectators,
Toby
all the
Cosgrove.
the
We couldn't
Trump
have done it
posse
without you.
pulling up.
Thank you. One housekeeping bit for the audience.
Yeah, so there's definitely
as soon
not
as
gonna
this
be a
debate is over,
protester.
if you will please remain seated, you will be shown which way to
There's not big
exit.
enough of an audience.
And please stay where you
So
are
that's
until
that's
that happens.
Jill, and that's
I would
one
like
of Biden's
to now
grandkids.
introduce Chris Wallace, the moderator
Family
of this
coming
evening's
in.
debate.
Chris Wallace. So, what's up with Wallace? He's sort of like a centrist Republican, respectable. We love to see it, folks. Why did I not put a fucking technical difficulty bar? Why did I not do that? Why? I can't believe I fucking forgot that. This is how you know that Fox News is socialist. This is starting so perfectly. I love this so much. I'm so excited. This is evidence. This is evidence that this is going to go perfectly. absolutely swimmingly. Is this only C-SPAN? Is there any other, like, is Fox, can you hear it? Can you hear it? I'm sure Hassan has a lot of viewers. It's whatever. Oh, it's totally just... Who the fuck said this was gonna be boring? Who said it? They were wrong. You were totally wrong. Oh, can you hear it on ABC? This isn't me. This is not me. This is silence. The caption says silence. It doesn't, like, honestly, I don't care what he's saying. I would much prefer that they fuck this up. You think it's the ABC? Oh, okay. There's noise, but it's the ABC pundits who are saying shit. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is already, like, they might be explaining the rules. I guess, can they hear? I mean, these guys are at the front, so they can definitely hear. I doubt that.
All cops are bad cops.
Lopez, thank you for the 5 months.
These are the technical difficulties I sub for.
I couldn't have said it better myself. There's no way that they would schedule a very, like, long period where they just had silence in which they read out the rules. Because most of this is for TV, right? Explaining the rules to the audience when it's fucking 100 people. Cabrazell, thank you for the gift sub. He's mic'd up. Oh, so maybe... Okay. It was muted on purpose. Was it? That sounds incredibly stupid. He was addressing the crowd? Okay. Talking about... Yeah, they're mentioning all of the actual rules. It's like, I know we have to pretend we hate each other, but we all have the same interests. So, you know, regardless of what happens on stage tonight, know that after party is going to be great and we'll all be friends because none of us have any opposed political views. Yeah, it was Putin who muted him. He was exposing the truth. Okay. This is good. Someone is mic'd up and you can hear how dry their mouth is. Is Obama there? Does anyone see Obama? Has anyone seen Obama? I don't think he's here.
All cops are bad cops.
Coffee, thank you for the 5 months. Where is Obama? You're Barack Obama? Obama in the chat? Yeah, Obama's there because he's personal best friends with Joe Biden. Obama's just beside Biden whispering stuff into his ear. Yeah, I guess the muting was intentional. Which that sounds like it's a very poorly... So not a technical difficulty, just very weird. Very strange. I don't know why... How will you know what to think without Rahm Emanuel's comment? Exactly. We're all sheep here, being unled because C-SPAN doesn't have any commentary, I guess. Yeah, they're late. It's 6:01. Tick tick. All right, let's see.
All cops are bad cops.
I want Joe Biden to show his feet during the debate, please. Joe Biden, show your feet, please.
Page 99, thank you for the 3 months. Absolutely. I agree. There needs to be a section in which the audience rates their toes. Whoever has nicer toes gets a point. They're doing the drug test? Yeah. No, they're pumping up Biden with adrenochrome so he can go for an hour and a half. I love how they have to keep adding silence. Yeah, they're pumping up. They're because, like, sincerely, both of them are probably on some sort of drugs. if when we watch the Democratic debate, you can see this. The people are acting differently than they normally are.
Cops.
Yay.
Jawazen, thank you for the 2 months. Like usually some like anti-anxiety medication or like attention stuff, so that they're able, because it's like, you know, you have to be on for an hour and a half. Particularly if you're older, that's like hard. So it's totally like, I genuinely believe that like during the Dem debate, like pretty much everyone except Bernie was probably on some shit. You could tell Klobuchar was on like Adderall or something because she was fucking. Oh, we're going? Let's.
Good evening from the Health Education Campus of Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic. I'm Chris Wallace of Fox News, and I welcome you to the first of the 2020 presidential debates.
Let's go. It's happening.
President Donald J. Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. This debate is sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates.
7 months.
The Commission has designed the format.
Box, thank you for the 7 months.
Roughly 15-minute segments.
Dino Box, thank you for the 7 months.
With 2-minute answers from each candidate to the first question, then open discussion for the rest of each segment. Both campaigns have agreed to these rules.
Okay.
For the record, I decided the topics and the questions in each topic. I can assure you, none of the questions has been shared with the Commission or the two candidates. This debate is being conducted under health and safety protocols designed by the Cleveland Clinic.
That's great.
Which is serving as the
I'm
health
glad they said
security
that.
advisor to the Commission for
Wink.
all 4 debates.
Because that shit happens with
the
the Dem debate.
Candidates will not shake hands at the beginning of tonight's debate. The audience here in the hall has promised to remain silent. No cheers, no boos or other interruptions, so we, and more importantly you, can focus on what the candidates have to say. No noise except right now, as we welcome the Republican nominee, President Trump, and the Democratic nominee, Vice President Biden.
Here we go. Let's see what they look like. How orange is the Cheeto going to be, folks? Farless, thank you for the 3 months. Here we go. Here we go.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, man? He's already said man. He's already said, that's close. That's half of, come on,
Gentlemen,
man.
a lot of people have been waiting for this night, so let's get going. Our first subject is the Supreme Court. President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court. You say the Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate's to consider
the classic way Trump
a nominee to the court.
Stands,
Vice President Biden, you say that this is an effort by the president and Republicans to jam through an appointment and what you call an abuse of power. My first question to both of you tonight: why are you right?
They're going to interrupt
the
each
argument
other.
You make, and your opponent wrong? And where do you think
Trump
Justice
absolutely
Barrett would
alpha
take the court?
fucking power pose?
President Trump, in this first segment, you go first.
Virgin Biden.
Thank you very much, Chris. I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic, good in every way,
In every way, folks.
In fact, some of her biggest endorsers are very liberal people from Notre Dame and other places. So I think she's going to be fantastic.
Not that orange
we have
today.
plenty of time. Even
they
if
limited
we did it after
orange
the
amount.
election itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know. So I think that
Trump
she
is
will be
trying.
outstanding. She's
The question
going
is,
to be,
what is it going to look like for Biden?
Anybody that has served on that court.
They're going to have
We really feel
boring
that,
Trump.
We have a professor at Notre Dame, highly respected
Like
by
it's
all,
gonna,
said
he's
she's
going to
the
be
single
less
greatest
like out
student
there
he's
than
ever had. He's
the
been
debates
a
4 years
professor for a
ago.
long time at a great school.
The question is, what's Biden going to do?
We won the election, and therefore we have the right to choose her. And very few people knowingly
Don't they?
would
Isn't
say
that how
otherwise.
it's
And by
said?
the way,
Notre
the
Dame.
Democrats, they wouldn't even think about not doing it. If they had, the only difference is they'd try and do it faster. There's no way they would give it up. They had Merrick Garland, but the problem is they didn't have the election, so they were stopped. And probably that would happen.
All right,
in reverse
Biden,
also.
what do you got?
Definitely would happen in reverse.
What do you got?
So we won the election, and we have the right to do it, Chris.
President Trump, thank you. Same question to you, Vice President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
This is the most.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing this and looking forward to this, Mr. President.
Thank you, Joe.
The American people have a right to have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is.
This is prepared,
and that say
right?
occurs when they vote for a United States senator.
Biden looks like he does
and
gonna
when
cry.
they vote for the President of the United States.
Debates look.
They're not going to get that chance now because we're in the middle of an election already. The election has already started. Tens of thousands of people have already voted. And so the thing that should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is. Because that's the only way the American people get to express their view is by who they elect as president and who they elect as vice president.
He's not going to bring
now,
up.
What's at stake here is the president's made it clear he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. He's been running on that, he ran on that, and he's been governing on that. He's in the Supreme Court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which will strip 20 million people from having
stripped a little bit.
Insurance, health
the
insurance
question is,
now, if
the question
if it goes
is,
in the court.
Is this him at his peak?
And the justice, and I have nothing, I'm not opposed to the justice, she seems like a very fine person.
Biden's
but
gonna
she's
shit his
written
brain
before she
pads.
went in the bench, which is her right, that she thinks that the Affordable Care Act is not constitutional. The other thing that's on the court, and if it's struck down, what happens? Women's rights are fundamentally changed. Once again,
sure, this is a good idea.
A woman could be pay more money because she has a pre-existing condition of pregnancy. They were able to charge a woman more for the same exact procedure a man did.
I think people generally
that ended when we, in fact, passed the Affordable Care Act. And there's 100 million people who have pre-existing conditions. And they'll be taken away as well.
It's mainly Medicaid.
Those pre-existing conditions, the insurance companies are going to love this.
With Medicaid.
And so it's just not appropriate to do this before this election.
This is his prepared
if he wins
statement.
The election and the Senate is Democrat or Republican, then he goes forward. If not, we should wait until February.
All right. There aren't 100 million people with pre-existing conditions. As far as the say is concerned, the people already had their say. Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly, at some point, 10 years ago or so, she said a president and the Senate is elected for a period of time, but a president's elected for 4 years. We're not elected for 3 years. I'm not elected for 3 years. So we have the Senate, we have a president.
He's elected to the next
during
election.
that period of time, we have an opening. I'm not elected for 3 years. I'm elected for 4 years. And the 100 million people, Joe, the 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number. The bigger problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care.
That's simply not true.
Well, you're certainly going to socialist. You're going to socialist medicine.
We're now into
we got one.
Open discussion.
Open discussion.
Basically,
yes, I agree. Go ahead, Vice President.
Number one.
What did he say?
He knows.
He called him a socialist, right?
What I proposed is
Where is that?
we expand Obamacare. And we increase it. We do not
socialist medicine, baby.
One of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won.
Sana's number
were
one
saying
dream.
that
Cool.
Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance.
I don't need
still.
people.
They can.
I don't need a constant
they
update.
Do. They will under my proposal.
It's not what you've said,
but
and it's not what your party has said.
That is simply
your party
a lie.
doesn't say it. Your party wants to go socialist.
Let's
party
go.
Is socialist
right
healthcare.
now, I am.
Where
a
is it?
Dominate you, Joe. You know that.
Biden
I
says
am the Democratic Party right now.
No,
the
Trump
platform
won.
of the
Not according
Democratic
to
Party
Trump won the
is
debate.
what I,
Trump won
in
the
fact, approved of. What I approved
Trump won
of.
the debate.
Now, here's the deal.
No, I'm
the
sorry.
deal is that it's going to
No, you
wipe
won.
out pre-existing conditions. And by the way, the 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived? Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them?
The 200,000 people that died. How many of them
You've had
survived?
308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me about this.
I'm happy to talk about this.
And if you were here, it would be
he's
200.
melting,
it would be
dude.
2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban
All right, gentlemen,
Europe, which was heavily
Mr. President,
You would have been
Mr.
much
President,
later, Joe.
Mr.
He's
President,
not even looking at him.
You're talking about 2 million people.
You're not
Mr. President, as a moderator, we are going to talk about COVID in the next segment, but go ahead.
Let me finish. The point is that the president also is
Mute him.
opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court.
These are
and so
prepared
that's also at
statements,
stake
dude.
right now. And so the election is
Look at it,
all
he's
ready
gone.
to
It's on
done.
the ballot. Why is it in the ballot?
Because
Why is
you
it on the
said
ballot? It's not on the ballot.
It's on the ballot in the court.
I don't think so.
In the court. Well,
There's nothing happening there.
Donald, would you
and
just
you don't
be quiet
know
for a
her
minute?
view on Roe v. Wade. You
I
don't know her view.
Well, all right. Let's talk. We got a lot to unpack here, gentlemen. We got a lot of time. So,
God.
On health care. And then
No,
we'll come
Biden
back to
shit
Roe
his
v.
brain
Wade.
pants. It's already.
Mr. President, the Supreme Court will hear.
Stop the
a
fight.
case
Stop the
a week
fight. He's
after
out.
the election.
He's out.
In which the Trump administration, along with 18
My
state
God,
attorneys
break 'em
general,
up.
are seeking to overturn.
That's right.
Obamacare, to end Obamacare. You have spent the last
Because they want to give good health care.
If I may ask my question, sir.
He's just.
Over
my
the last
God,
4
dude.
years, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but you have never in these 4 years come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan
Yes,
to
I have.
replace Obamacare.
Of course I have.
Well,
I got rid of the individual mandate.
I'm going to give you an opportunity.
I got rid of the individual
Excuse me?
mandate, which was a
That
big
is not
saying,
a comprehensive
excuse
plan.
That is
me,
absolutely
to the
a big
debate
thing. That was the
moderator,
worst part of
and the
Obamacare.
moderator is
Chris,
You're
that
like,
was the
debating him,
worst
not
part of
me.
Obama.
Let me ask my
Well,
question.
I'll ask Joe. The individual mandate was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare. I got rid of it.
I'd like you
and we
to,
will protect
Mr.
people
President,
with
I'm the
pre-existing
moderator of this
conditions.
debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer your question.
he's debating the
You,
moderator.
in the course
Fuck.
of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan.
I mean, that's the Trump plan.
to
Is just say
replace
bullshit.
Obamacare,
and then,
and just
yell
this
it.
last Thursday,
Like when he
you
said, you know,
signed
that's not
a
true, 100 million
largely
people.
symbolic executive order to protect people with
not
pre-existing
pre-existing
conditions 5 days before this debate.
That's
so
right.
my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Cops are
Well,
bad cops.
first of all, I guess I'm debating
Bernie
you,
tag
not
and oh
him, but
God,
that's
if
okay.
I-
I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you something.
Am I thinking of the $5?
There's nothing symbolic.
Yeah.
I'm cutting drug prices.
Like,
I'm
imagine
going
if
with
Bernie
favored
was here,
nations,
dude.
which no president has the courage to do because you're going
Bernie
against
was
big pharma.
fucking good at this shit.
Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it. Nobody's done it. So we're cutting health care.
What about
All of the
pre-existing
things that
conditions?
we've done.
Yes,
He's
not
not
so
even
bad.
I'll
looking
give you
at
an
him.
example. Insulin. It was destroying
total
families,
fucking-
destroying people because I'm getting it for so cheap. It's like water, you want to know the truth. So cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs what we're doing, prescription drug prices.
Joe
We're
is
going to
the
allow our
worst
governors now to
fucking
go to
candidate
other
they
countries
could've
to
got
buy
for
drugs
this
because
fucking
they
debate.
pay just a tiny
The
fraction.
worst
This is open
candidate.
discussion.
No,
Let me
but
ask
this is
you about,
big.
you'll
This
be
is
happy,
big stuff.
sir. You'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president, which is he points out that you would like to add a public option to Obamacare, and
Yes.
the argument that he makes and other Republicans make is that that is going to end private insurance.
It is
and
not.
well, if I can ask you the question, it will
No,
end
don't
Party
apologize.
says, by the way.
it will end private insurance and create a government takeover of health care.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for Medicaid. They can get that free.
That's good.
in
Emphasize
most states,
Medicaid.
except governors who want to deny people who are poor Medicaid. Anyone who
emphasize Medicaid.
qualifies
People-
for Medicare,
everyone loves Medicaid.
Medicaid would automatically be enrolled in the public option. The vast majority of the American people would still not be in that option. Number one.
Joe, you
Number
agreed
two.
with Bernie Sanders, who's far left, on the manifesto, we call it.
Oh,
my socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
Are you saying
I'm not
you
going to
didn't
listen
agree?
to him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm here.
Not by
I'm here
much.
standing facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have left
Well,
2 days
I tell
early.
you,
You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to
on
do
Super
is hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. and
He's
you get very
right.
lucky tonight as well.
He's right.
And tonight I'm going to
With
make
what?
sure because
With what?
here's the deal. Here's the deal. The fact is that everything
This
he's
is
saying
the
so far
worst
is simply a lie. I'm not here to call
thing
out his
that
lies.
could have
Everybody knows
happened.
he's a liar.
But you
I just
agree.
want to
Wait,
make
wait,
sure.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be
you know,
surprised.
you pick
You'd be
the
surprised. Go ahead.
wrong guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with
Here's the
Bernie
deal.
Sanders to the
The
manifesto.
whole idea.
Let him.
There is no manifesto. Number
Please
one.
let him speak, Mr.
Number
President.
two.
You just lost the left.
Number two.
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan
Folks,
that's absolutely agreed
folks, do you
to,
have any
and under that
idea
plan,
what
you have
this clown's
socialized,
doing?
They call it
Mr.
Medicare.
Do you have any do?
Socialized medicine.
Mr.
Well, I
President.
tell you what, he is not for any help for people needing
my
health care.
God.
Because because he, in fact, already has cost 10 million people their health care that they had from their employers because of his recession. Number one. Number two, there are 20 million people getting health care through Obamacare now that he wants to take it away. He won't ever look you in the eye and say that's what he wants to do.
You won't even look him in the eye at all.
Number three, health care at a much lower price because
by the way,
Obamacare is no good.
He doesn't know how
I've
to do
already
that.
fixed it.
He has never
I've
offered
already
a plan.
fixed it to an extent.
He has never done a
as you
single
might
thing.
know, but probably don't.
Gentlemen, you realize if you're both speaking at the same time,
and it's too expensive.
Let the president go ahead, sir.
Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate. We guarantee pre-existing conditions, but took away the individual mandate. We guarantee pre-existing conditions, but took away the individual mandate. Listen, this is the way it is. And that destroyed, they shouldn't even call it Obamacare.
Jesus
then I had a
Christ.
choice to
Who
make.
said
Do
this
I
was
let my
going to be
people
boring?
run it really well?
Who said this was going to be boring?
Or badly? If I run it badly,
Who the fuck?
they'll
Show
probably
yourself.
blame him, but they'll blame me. But more importantly, I want to help people, okay?
Does anyone smell
run
shit?
It so well.
That's what he's
and I
known
just
for.
had a meeting with them. They said the problem is no matter how well you run Obamacare, it's a disaster. It's too expensive. Premiums are too high, and it doesn't work. So we do want to get rid of it. Chris, we want to get rid of it.
I understand it, sir, but I
have to have the capacity to cut
roughly
someone's
equal
mic.
time. Please let
You have to have the
Vice
capacity to
President
cut someone's mic.
He has no plan for health care. Of
course we do.
He sends out wishful thinking. He has executive orders that have no power. He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been promising a health care plan since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan.
But no one is
He doesn't
able-
have a plan. And the fact is, this man doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right,
He's
I have one final question for you.
Sure.
He spoke
Mr.
for
Vice
like
President.
10 seconds.
If Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here, if Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett,
I'm
there
sure
has been
Trump has
talk
spoken for
about
like at
ending
least
the
70% of
filibuster
this.
or even packing the court, adding to the 9 justices there. You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact, it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in the Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now.
just dodged.
Make sure you, in fact, let people know you're a senator.
He doesn't want to ask the question.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
the question is,
he's fucked.
Answer
the question.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe? Who's on your list?
Gentlemen, I think
Will you shut up, man?
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
The people understand, Joe.
They sure
47 years.
It's already fucking like they're already on the ground, fucking rolling around.
Awfully serious subject, so
that's not a come on,
be
man.
Serious about it. We have had more than 7 million cases of coronavirus in the United States, and more than
this is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
People have died, even after we produce a vaccine.
Will you shut up, man?
It could be months or even years before we come back to anything
absolute beta
approaching normal. My question for both
beta
of you
moderator,
is based on what
no
you have
capacity
said
to like
and done so far,
control
and
the
what
fucking
you have said
debate.
you would do starting in 2021. Why should the American people trust you more
They
than
should just get them in
your
the mud
opponent
pit.
to deal with this
Just get them in the mud
public
pit.
health crisis going
This
forward?
is not.
In this case, the question goes to you first, sir. 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Good luck. 200,000 dead. As you said, over 7 million infected in the United States. We, in fact,
This
have
is such an easy point.
4% of the world's population.
Easy stunt
20%
cover.
of the deaths. 40,000 people a day are contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is. The president
200,000 million deaths,
has
baby.
no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February
say
how serious this
750?
crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging he knew it. He said he didn't tell us or give people a warning of it because he didn't want to panic the American people. You don't panic.
750 deaths
He
a day.
panicked. In addition to that, what did he do? He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we had on the ground in China should be able to go to Wuhan and determine for themselves how dangerous this was. He did not even ask Xi to do that.
He did not even try to invade China.
Xi was doing. He said we owe him a debt
Yes,
of
where's that?
gratitude for being
Biden
so
accuses Trump of being a bad
transparent with us.
imperialist.
And what did he do then? He then did nothing. He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan. I laid out back in March exactly what we should be doing. And I laid out again.
He did the
in
wrong
July
again. The
what
classic.
We should be providing all the
classic
protective gear
debate.
possible. We should be providing the money the House has passed.
He's bringing
in
back the
order to be
wrong.
able
Let's
to
go.
out and get people the help they need to keep their businesses open. Open schools.
Yeah, this is
that
the
cost a
easiest
lot of
question
money.
ever.
You should get out of
The
your
way he's
bunker
answering is
and get
fine.
out of the
He's just
sand trap
fucking
and
it up.
Get in your golf course and go in the Oval Office and bring together the Democrats and Republicans and fund what needs to be done now to save lives.
So if we would have listened to you.
You have 2 minutes, sir.
If we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000, and one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened. They stopped it from going in, but it was China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand. But if you look at what we've
they're
done,
going
I
with.
closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist, and he's xenophobic because you didn't think I should have closed our country.
Wait a
minute.
It says 2 minutes.
You didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible. You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months. By my doing it early, in fact, Dr. Fauci said, President Trump saved thousands of lives. Many of you Democrat governors said, President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. The governors said I did a phenomenal job. Most of them said that.
Because again,
in fact, people that
Trump
would
is
not
better at
be
delivery.
necessarily on my side
Joe's gonna
said that.
cry.
President
He's
Trump
better at
did
delivery.
a phenomenal job.
And that's what presidents
we did.
do, Bill.
We got the gowns. We got the masks. We made
Sublime
the
March.
ventilators.
Think
You
of
wouldn't
Jeff
have
Bezos
made
bucks.
ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine. We're doing therapeutics already. Fewer people are dying when they get sick. Far fewer people are dying. We've done a great job. The only thing I haven't done a good job, and that's because of the fake news. No matter what you say to them, they give you bad press on it. It's just fake news. They give you good press. They give me bad press because that's the way it is.
This is a rally,
But Let
man.
me just tell you something.
He's
I don't
riffing.
care. I've gotten used to it. But I'll tell you, Joe, you could
I
never
thought this
have
was
done
gonna
the
be
job
like
that we
maybe
did.
boring
You don't
Donald
have it
Trump.
in your blood. You could have never done that job.
I know how to do the job. I know how to get the job.
Well, you didn't do very well in swine flu. H1N1. You were
There
a
we go,
disaster.
baby.
Your own chief of staff said you were a disaster.
14,000
Let's
people
go.
died, not
Swine
200,000.
flu.
There was no
Very
economic
good.
recession.
XXX.
There was no recession.
Thank you for the Jeff Bezos bucks.
And there was no one. There's no.
Jay
We
Butcher,
didn't
thank
shut
you for the
down the
8 months.
economy. This is his economy that's being. He's shut down. The reason it's shut down is because look, you folks at home. How many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How
It's a lot
many
of
of you
people.
were in a situation where you
cops
lost
are
your
bad
mom or
cops.
dad and you couldn't even
have to have
speak
my
to them?
tools.
You
Think of
had
it, Jeff
a nurse
Bezos
holding
bucks.
a phone up so you could in
Thank you
fact
for the hype
save
train,
the
folks.
You would
lives.
have lost far
How
more
many
people.
people?
Far
That is
more people.
James gonna.
You would have been
And by the way,
months late.
your own his
Guns, do be
own
fair. Thank you for the gift
CDC director says we could lose as many as another
I'm gonna mute the
200,000
sound
people
so you
between
guys can
now and
hear
the end
this
of the
still.
year. And he held up. He said, if we just wear a mask, we can save
Ice
half
cream and
those
sadness.
numbers.
Thank you for
Just
Jeff
just the
Bezos bucks.
mask. And by the
Sleep
way,
Sonic Time,
in
thank you.
terms of the whole notion of a vaccine,
You can see the
we're for
lizard,
a
folks.
vaccine, but
He's
I
in
don't
the top
trust him
left.
at all. Nor do you. I know
Maya,
you
thank you
don't.
for the 5
What we
subs.
trust is a scientist.
You don't
we trust
trust
Dr.
Johnson &
Fauci.
Johnson.
We're gonna
Pfizer.
half
We-
train.
and by the way,
Gentlemen,
we're still
and
paying
gentlemen,
attention to
let me
this.
move on to
Folks, we got a lot of good
questions about the
emotes.
future, 'cause you
2060
both
ones.
have
They're very
touched on
nice
one
if
of
you're
the-
a
two
new
of the
viewer.
questions I'm going to ask.
Sparky
Focusing on the future
Markey.
first, President Trump,
Markey, thank
you
you for 2
have
months.
repeatedly either contradicted or been at odds with some of your government's own top scientists. The week before last,
We're gonna
the
keep it
head
on this,
of the
though.
Centers
I don't
for
wanna move
Disease
on.
Control, Dr. Redfield, said it
Dylan,
would
thank you for the
be
100 bits.
summer before the vaccine would become generally available to
See,
the
Biden
public.
might
You
fucking
said that
say-
he was confused and mistaken.
He
Those are
might
your
say
two
the
words.
vaccine is gonna be
But
bad.
Dr. Slowy, the head of your
I don't know, dude.
Operation Warp Speed, has said exactly the same thing. Are they both wrong?
Well, I've spoken to the
That's a
companies,
good
and we can have it
question.
a lot sooner. It's a very political thing because people like this
Grim
would
might not
rather
think
make
of
it
the gift
political
sub.
than save lives. It is a very political thing. I've spoken to Pfizer. I've spoken to all of the people that you have to speak to. We have great
They want to
Moderna,
make it political,
Johnson
but
and
it's very
Johnson, and
political.
others. They can go faster than that by a lot.
Johnson and Johnson?
Become very political.
Oh, right, because they're like
the left, or I don't know if I call
So
them
you're
left. I don't know
suggesting
what I
that
call
the
them.
head of your Operation Warp Speed, Dr. Smawi?
I disagree with him. Yeah, no, I disagree with both of them. And he didn't say that. He said it could be there, but it could also be much sooner. I had him in my office 2 days ago.
He talked about the summer, sir, before it's generally available. Just like
He
Dr.
said it's a
Redfield.
possibility that we'll have the answer before
Clear the egg. Think of it 2
November
months.
1st. It could also
I'm
be
talking about
after
when it's
that.
generally available.
I say chew
Well,
it.
we're
Think
going
of
to
the gift
deliver
sub.
it right away. We have the military all set up. Logistically, they're all set up. We have our military that delivers
We got the
soldiers,
military?
and they can do 200,000 a day. They're going to be
This
delivering
is the
the
same
vaccine.
man
It's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
by Easter this would be gone away. By the warm weather, it'd be gone. Miraculous, like a miracle. And by the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the
That
same
was
man.
said sarcastically,
That was
you know that. That was said sarcastically.
And so here's the deal. This man is talking
All
about
right.
a vaccine.
Clap back, King.
Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year. The distribution of that vaccine will not
Kelly,
occur
thank you
until
for the
sometime
$5.
beginning or the middle of next year to get it out, if we get the vaccine. And pray God we will. Pray God we will.
Mr. Vice President, I want to pick up, though.
You'll have
on
the
that.
vaccine
I
sooner
want to
than
pick
that.
up on this question, though. You say the public can trust the scientists,
Do you know,
but they
son? Thank
can't
you for the
trust
Jeff Bezos
President
bucks.
Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls already show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it, are you and your running mate, Senator Harris, contributing to that fear?
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out. He puts pressure and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying you
Everybody
can't,
knows.
Senator
And-
Harris is saying
no,
you can't trust the scientists.
No, no. You
That's
can
actually
trust
a
the
good
scientists.
answer.
She didn't say that. You can't
She
trust the
said the
With what
public
he
health
has.
experts, quote, will be muzzled, will
Yes.
be suppressed.
Well, that's what he's going to try to do. But there's
Joe
millions
sounds
of
funny,
scientists.
yeah.
There's
Well, that's
thousands
Joe.
of scientists out there, like
Millions
at this
of
great
scientists.
hospital, that don't work for him. Their job doesn't depend on him. That's not. They're the people. And by
I
the way,
spoke to the
and Fauci,
scientists that are in charge.
By the way,
they will have the vaccine very soon.
Let him finish.
Do you believe for a moment what he's telling you in light of all the lies he's told you about the whole issue relating to COVID?
Okay.
He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew
He's picking
this
it up
was
a bit.
happening, knew
I think
how
Biden's
dangerous it was
picking
going to be
himself up.
back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked or he just looked at the stock market, one of the two, because guess what? A lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets
Nick
a lot
of Nesco.
smarter, a lot
Thank you for
quicker.
the 5 months.
Mr. President?
That's good.
You
That
used
was
the
a
word
good one.
smart.
I think that's prepared.
So you said you
And in
went
fact,
to
I'm very
Delaware
smart.
State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a
He's
Because
mad.
you know what? There's nothing smart
He is
about
mad.
you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
Well, let's have this debate.
And if
We'll
you
see
would have
who's
had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
No,
If you would have had
This is
the
Hillary did
charge
this too.
of what I was put through.
You
I had
personally
closed
insult
the
him and
greatest
then he gets
economy in the
fucking
history
like.
of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
See, he-
and it's
We're going to
going
get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next segment, sir.
Okay.
It's going up fast. I
Okay.
look forward to talking
When
about
it comes to how the virus has been handled
Cat
so
fight.
far, the two of you
Bingo
have
tile,
taken
which one?
very different approaches, and this is going to affect how
What did he
the
say?
virus
Is that
handled
ableism?
going
I don't
forward
know. I
by
was looking for
whichever
something
of you
more than
ends up becoming
stupid.
the next president. I want to quickly go through several of those. Reopenings. Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
Because he doesn't have a plan. If I were running, I'd know what the plan is. You've got to provide these businesses the ability to
All
have
this
the
is elder
money to
abuse.
be able to reopen with the PPE as well as with the sanitation they need. You have to provide
that
them
to Nancy
plastic.
Pelosi.
Well, he's just shush for a minute.
Tell it to Nancy Pelosi. And Schumer,
by the
Brian
way,
Chuck.
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, they have a plan. He won't even meet with them. The Republicans won't meet with him in the Senate. And he sits on his golf course. And I mean, literally, think about it.
You probably play
think
more than
about
I
it.
do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the fact?
Well, he wants to shut down this country. And I want to keep it open. And we did a great thing by shutting it down. Wait a minute, Joe. Let me shut you down for a second, Joe, just for 1 second.
Plastic Tommy, thank you for the 7 months.
He wants to shut down the country.
Let me shut you down.
We had to because we didn't know anything about the disease. Now we found that elderly people with heart problems and diabetes and different problems are very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot. Young children aren't. Even younger people aren't. We've learned a lot. But he wants to shut it down. More people will be hurt by continuing. If you look at Pennsylvania, if you look at certain states that have been shut down, they have Democrat governors. One of the reasons they shut down is because they want to keep it shut down until after the election on November 3rd. Because it's a political thing. Those states are not doing well that are shut down right now.
President Trump, you have begun to increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer. And in fact, recently you have cited the issue of waiters touching their masks and touching plates. Are you questioning the efficacy of masks?
You have to understand, if you look, I mean, I have a mask right here. I put a mask on, when
put it on. Oh.
Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test, and you've had
social
distancing and all of the things that you have to. But
are we at 750 viewers? $1 for every.
Okay, let me ask. I don't wear a mask like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. I will say this.
Vice President Biden.
That is pretty funny.
Look, the way to open businesses
that is pretty funny.
Is give them the wherewithal to be able to open. We provided money.
But I was asking you, sir, about masks.
Well, masks make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, everybody wore masks in social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
And they've also said the opposite. They've also said
no serious person said the opposite.
Well, look at Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci said the opposite.
He did not say the opposite.
He said very strongly, masks are not good. Then he changed his mind. He said masks are good. I'm okay with masks.
I want to ask you both about one last subject, because your different approaches has even affected the way that you have campaigned. President Trump, you're holding large rallies with crowds packed together, thousands of people. Outside, yes, sir. Agree.
Sarah, Nicora was
Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller events with
nobody will show up.
People with
well, it's true. Nobody shows up.
In any case, why you holding the big rallies? Why you not? You go first, sir.
Because people want to hear what I have
That's
to say.
why people like Trump,
right? Great job as a president.
Jamie's my name.
35,000 people show up at airports. We use airports.
Are you not worried about the
disease issues? We have a lot of people.
Sir?
Well, so far, we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big difference, according to the experts. And we do them outside. We have tremendous crowds, as you see. I mean, and literally on 24 hours notice. And Joe does the circles and has 3 people someplace.
Okay. By the way, did you see one of the last big rallies he had? And a reporter came up to him to ask him a question. He said, no, stand back. Put on your mask. Put on a mask. Have you been tested? I'm way far away from those other people. That's what he said. I can't. I'm going to be okay. He's not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there breathing in one another.
We've had no negative effect.
No negative effect.
We've had no negative effect. And we've had 35,000, 40,000 people at these rallies.
Just quickly finish up, because I want to move on to our next.
Yes, I would. He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled the social distancing and people wearing masks, basically encouraged them not to.
All right.
He's a fool on this.
If you could get the crowds.
Herman Cain literally died at one of his rallies.
Gentlemen, can we move on to the economy?
Yes.
The economy is, I think it's fair to say, recovering faster than expected from the shutdown.
Much faster.
In the second quarter, the unemployment rate fell to 8.4% last month. The Federal Reserve says the hit to growth, which is going to be is not going to be nearly as big as they had expected. President Trump, you say we are in a V-shaped recovery. Vice President Biden, you say it's more of a K-shape. What difference does that mean to the American people in terms of the economy? President Trump, in this segment, you go first.
A K-shape.
So we built the greatest economy in history. We closed it down because of the China plague. When the plague came in, we closed it down, which was very hard psychologically to do. He didn't think we should close it down, and he was wrong.
That's not.
And again, 2 million people would be dead now.
And then
instead of Still, 204,000 people is too much. One person is too much. Should have never happened from China. But what happened is we closed it down, and now we're reopening, and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we've put back into the workforce. That's a record the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. And he wants to close down he will shut it down again. He will destroy this country. You know, a lot of people, between drugs and alcohol and depression, when you start shutting it down, you take a look at what's happening at some of your Democrat-run states where they have these tough shutdowns.
And
I'm telling you, it's because
so sad.
They don't want to open it. One of them came out last week. You saw that. Oh, we're going to open up on November 9th. Why November 9th? Because it's after the election. They think they're hurting us by keeping them closed. They're hurting people.
Biden forgot he was on
People
camera.
know what to do. They can social distance. They can wash their hands. They can wear masks. They can do whatever they want. But they got to open these states up. When you look at North Carolina, when you look, and these governors are under siege, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and a couple of others, you got to open these states up. It's not fair. You're talking about almost, it's like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with divorce, look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing. And he'll close down the whole country. This guy will close down the whole country and destroy our country.
The utilitarian calculus
is coming
is to
back
keep it
incredibly
open
well.
because so many people are getting
divorced. As it does it. We don't need somebody to come in and say, let's shut it down.
All right. Your 2 minutes, sir. We're now moved to you. As I said, posing the question, the president says it's a V-shaped recovery. You say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference?
The difference is millionaires and billionaires like him in the middle of the COVID crisis have done very well. Billionaires have made another $300 billion because of his profligate tax proposal, and he only focused on the market. But you folks at home, you folks living in Scranton and Claymont and all the small towns and working class towns in America, how well are you doing? This guy paid a total of $750 in taxes.
Sir,
let's go.
Sir, it's his yeah, I understand. You've agreed to the 2 minutes, so please let him have it.
Do I get my time back? The fact is that he has, in fact, worked on this in a way that he's going to be the first president of the United States to leave office having fewer jobs in his administration than when he became president. Fewer jobs than when he became president. First one in American history. Secondly, the people who have lost their jobs are those people who have been on the front lines, those people who have been saving our lives, those people who have been out there dying,
this is like
people who've been putting themselves in a way to make sure that we could all try to make it. And the idea that he is insisting that we go forward and open when you have almost half the states in America with a significant increase in COVID deaths and COVID cases in the United States of America.
Biden said Russia too?
And he wants to open it up more.
This is Biden
Why
says
does he want to open it up?
I don't know
why doesn't he take care of the America? You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis. And he has no intention of doing anything about making it better for you all at home in terms of your health and your safety. Schools. Why aren't schools open? Because it costs a lot of money to open them safely.
You know,
they were going to give, his administration was going to give the teachers and school students masks. And then they decided, no, couldn't do that because it's not a national emergency. Not a national emergency. They've done nothing to help small businesses. Nothing. They're closing. 1 in 6 is now gone. He ought to get on the job and take care of the needs of the American people so we can open safely.
All right. Your time is up, sir. We are going to get to the...
I have to respond to that.
Well, you both had 2 minutes, sir.
Follow my Discord.
Excuse me, he made a statement.
So did you.
People want their
schools...
So did you. No, people want their schools open.
And he's
they
still
don't
going.
Want to be shut down. They don't want their state shut down.
It'll
they
ping you when I go
live.
live.
I look at
my
New
Discord.
York. It's so sad what's happening in New York. It's almost like a ghost town.
He just
and
keeps
I'm not
going.
Sure it can ever recover.
The mod is like, I can't
want
oppose
open.
God Emperor Alpha Male Donald Trump.
But
I'll just let him keep going.
I'm the one that brought back football. By the way, I brought back Big Ten football. It was me, and I'm very happy to do it. And the people of Ohio are very proud of me.
Holy fuck.
You know
We're going to get back.
Gentlemen,
we're going to get to your economic plans going forward in a moment. But first, Mr. President, as you well know, there's a new report that in 2016, the year you were elected president, and 2017, your first year as president, that you paid $750 a year in federal income tax each of those years. I know that you pay a lot of other taxes, but I'm asking you the specific question. Is it true that you paid $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years?
I paid millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars.
No, he's just fucking avoiding.
And let me just tell you.
Oh, in income
there was
tax.
a story in one of the papers.
Show us your tax
I paid
returns.
$38 million 1 year. I paid $27 million.
Show us your tax
1 year.
returns.
I went. You'll see it as soon as it's finished. You'll see it. You know, if you want to do, go to the Board of Elections. There's a 118-page or so report that says everything I have, every bank I have, I'm totally under-leveraged because the assets are extremely good, and we have a
You can't just smile,
I'm asking
dude.
you a specific question.
It is very funny, but you gotta
all of that. I understand all of that. No, Mr. President,
Go ahead.
I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750?
Millions of dollars, and you'll get to see it. And you'll get to see it. But let me just tell you, Chris, let me just tell you something, that it was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax. Before I came here,
What a
I was
fucking
private
Weasley
developer.
little
I
liar,
was a private
dude.
business people. Like every other
Inshallah.
private person, unless they're stupid, they go through the laws, and that's what it is.
Go off,
he
Brother
passed
Biden.
a tax bill that gave us all these privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We build a building and we get tax credits, like the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. You get a massive, which, by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that. Now, the man got fired right after that happened. But
Vice President Biden, you want to respond?
Yeah, I do want to respond. Look, the tax code that made him, put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher makes on the money a school teacher makes, is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And I'm going to eliminate those tax cuts.
I'm
and
laughing.
make sure that we invest in the people who, in fact, need the help. People out there need help.
But why didn't you do it over the last 25 years?
Because you weren't president. Because you weren't president screwing things up.
You were a senator. And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe. I've done more in 47
All right, that counts
months.
as come on,
I've done
man.
more than you've done in
He
47
said man and he said
years,
come
Joe.
on.
We've done things that you never even thought
I'm gonna
of,
count it.
including
Gentlemen.
fixing the broken military that you gave me, including taking care of
We're
your
talking,
vets.
Mr. President, we're talking about the economy. I'd like to ask you about your plans going forward, because, Mr. Vice President, your economic plan, if you were to be elected president, focuses a lot on big government, big taxes, big spending. I want to focus first on the taxes. You propose more than $4 trillion over a decade in new taxes
Top right score is
on
Biden says
individuals
malarkey.
making more than $400,000 a year and on corporations. President Trump says that kind of an increase in taxes
I'm sure.
is going to hurt the economy as it's
if
just
they're
coming
just
out
saying,
of a
like,
recession.
Meg
Well,
or
just
whatever,
take a
who
look at
gives a
what
shit?
is the analysis done by Wall Street firms. Points out that my economic plan would create 7 million more jobs than his in 4 years, number one. And number two, it would create an additional $1 trillion in economic growth, because it would be about buying American. That we're going to make, the federal government spend $600 billion a year on everything from ships to steel to buildings and the like. And under my proposal, we're going to make sure that every penny of that has to be made by a company.
But respectfully, sir, I'm talking about taxes, not spending.
By the way, I'm going to eliminate a significant number of the tax. I'm going to make the corporate tax 28%. It shouldn't be 21%. You have 91 companies, federal.
Are we halfway through?
Fortune 500 who don't pay a single penny in tax, making billions of dollars.
Why didn't you do it before when you were vice president with Obama?
Because you, in fact, passed that. That was your tax proposal.
I got it done. And you know what happened?
Yeah, you got it done.
Our economy
got
boomed.
it done.
It's never boomed.
The economy is
Mr.
busted.
President,
Let me finish.
Mr. President, let me pick up on that. You would continue your free market approach, lower taxes, more deregulation, correct?
Not lower taxes for American people.
Excuse me.
But in Obama's, you talk about the economy booming. It turns out that in Obama's final 3 years as president, more jobs were created, 1.5 million more jobs than in the first 3 years of your presidency.
They had the slowest recovery since economic recovery since 1929. It was the slowest recovery. Also,
yeah, it was like
they took over something that was down here. All you had to do is turn on the lights and you pick up a lot. But they had the slowest economic recovery since 1929. Let me tell you about the stock market. When the stock market goes up, that means jobs. It also means 401ks. If you got in, if you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you'll lose half of the companies that have poured in here will leave, and plenty of companies that are already here, they'll leave for other places. They will leave, and you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen.
I mean, I guess he wasn't not
we
inherited
before. The worst recession, short of a depression, in American history. I was asked to bring it back. We were able to have an economic recovery that created the jobs you're talking about. We handed him a booming economy. He blew it.
It wasn't
booming.
Blew it.
He blew it.
It wasn't booming. It was the weakest recovery since 1929.
Is it fair to say he blew it when fact, when there was record low unemployment before COVID?
Yeah, but because what he did, even before COVID, manufacturing went in the hole. Manufacturing went in the hole.
Excuse me,
one.
Chris. Wait.
Number two.
Chris.
Number three.
They said it would take. No, you were number two.
No.
Chris. They said it would take a miracle to bring back manufacturing. I brought back 700,000 jobs.
Biden is so fucking
they brought
slow.
back nothing. They gave
You're
up
number
on manufacturing.
two.
We did not.
Is he saying that he's shit?
I'm the guy that
he
brought
totally
back
gave
the
up on
automobile
manufacturing.
All right,
let him.
We brought back.
Wait, did he say he was shit?
Chrysler and General Motors. We brought them back right here in the state of Ohio and Michigan.
No.
He blew it. They're gone. He blew it. And in fact, they're going.
Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year.
He's saying he lost.
Michigan had the best year they've ever had.
That is not
Many
true.
car companies came in from Germany, from Japan,
he meant
went to Michigan, went to Ohio.
They're not having
and they didn't
double entendre.
Mr. Vice President, go ahead.
And so you take a look at what he's actually done. He's done very little. His
Flattery
trade
equals
deals
correct.
are the same
Pretty
way.
much. That's
he
how
talks
people treat
about
this
these
shit.
great trade deals.
Particularly when, like, Trump starts yelling at Biden,
China's
just like,
perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit with China now than we did before.
What?
We have the highest trade deficit
China
with
ate
Mexico.
your lunch.
All right, gentlemen.
China perfected the art of the steal.
And no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars.
Where's Hunter?
Takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes millions of dollars. And also, while we're at it, why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do with Burisma to deserve $183,000?
None of that is true.
Oh, really? He didn't get $3.5 million?
Mr. President,
Mr.
President, please.
Totally discredited. Totally discredited. And by the way,
well, wait, he didn't get $3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice,
he got $3.5 million.
That is not true.
Oh, really?
Mr. President, it's an open discussion, please.
It's a fact.
Well,
he just keeps saying shit.
It's been
You can't shut him up.
Discredited.
Did Burisma pay him $183,000 a month with no experience in energy?
Mr. President,
my son did nothing wrong at Burisma.
This is like a fucking Twitch debate, dude. Well, let me finish.
Because he knows I have
let me
the
finish.
truth.
Let me finish.
His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
By who? The media.
By everybody. Well, by the media, by our allies, by the World Bank, by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even the people who testified under oath.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead, Mr. I'm listening to you.
People under,
he got $3.5 million from Moscow.
He testified under oath in his administration, said, I did my job and I did it very well.
Oh,
I
really?
did it
I'd
honorably.
like to know who they are.
Well, I'll give you the list of the people who testified.
No, go ahead, sir.
Sure, you've already fired most of them because they did a good job.
Some people don't do a good job.
He just keeps going.
Go ahead.
There's no check.
You get the final
There's
word.
no check.
It's hard to get any
There's
word
no
in with
check.
this
He can
clown.
just fucking say anything.
Hey, let me just say to you.
No. I'm Mr. President.
$3.5 million, Joe.
He just keeps going.
Why did
you can't stop him.
$3.5
million
from Moscow?
Look,
you literally can't stop him.
We want to talk about families.
The mod is so cucked.
I don't want to do that.
The moderator is
his
so
family
cucked.
We can talk about all night. His family's already.
My family lost a fortune by coming down and helping us with government.
And that's such a
Mr. President.
Every single one of them lost a fortune.
This is not about my family or his family. It's about your family, the American people. He doesn't. That's not true. It doesn't want to talk about what you need, you, the American people. It's about you. That's what we're talking about here.
All right, that's the end of the segment. We're moving on.
He didn't take them.
Vice President,
no. Can I be honest? It's a very important question.
Try to be honest.
He stood up
No,
He stood up
the answer to
and
the
he
question is no.
threatened Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you
That is
you know what?
absolutely not true.
doing it.
You're going to
You're on
have
tape.
True.
Gentlemen. I hate to raise my voice, but it seems to be, why should I be different than the two of you? So here's the deal.
Good point.
We have 6 segments. We have ended
You
that
can't
segment.
mute him?
We're going to go to
Is
the
there
next segment.
This is a
In
failed
that
state.
segment,
This is a fake
we are
democracy.
going to have 2
This is a fake
uninterrupted
electoral
moments.
system.
In those 2 uninterrupted
This isn't
moments,
actually
Mr. President,
politics
you can say
happening.
anything
This
you
is a
want.
meme.
I'm going to ask a question about
This
race,
is a
but
Twitch.
if you want to answer
This
about
is a
something
Twitch
else, go
debate
ahead.
panel. This
But
isn't.
I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak.
I've seen better
with
moderation
fewer
on
interruptions.
fucking
I'm appealing to you, sir, to
60
do that.
viewer. Not that I watch these.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more
Twitch
interruptions.
politics moderation, like debate
well,
panels.
less than, sir, less
There's
than,
plenty.
no, less than you have. Let's please continue on. The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about
thought it was
very
good
fine
before.
people on both sides,
You
was
thought
what
it was good
directly
before.
led you to launch this run for president.
Oh, yeah, sure.
President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for Black Americans than any president, with the possible
What is our
exception
thing about-
of Abraham Lincoln. My question for the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your
Trump
opponent
says he loves the
to
black.
deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity for everyone, equality for the whole of America. But we've never accomplished it. But we've never walked away from it like he has done. It is true. The reason I got in the race is when those people,
Biden's
close
like,
your
yeah.
eyes. Remember what those people look like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, just spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku
He's
Klux
so-
Klan. A young woman got killed.
Finish your
And they asked the
fucking
president what he
sentence,
thought. He said
man.
there were very fine people on both sides. No president has ever
Finish
said
the
anything
statement.
like that.
Finish the statement.
It is who's
Now,
2
second,
minutes, sir.
second point I'd make
Veins bulging.
is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible. And then what happened after
Yes,
that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a
That's a good point.
disgrace. The general who was with him said all he ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all. This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to
It's
try
a
to
Bible.
generate
It's not my
racist
Bible.
hatred, racist division. This is a
It's
man
classic.
who, in fact, you talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans has been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is a savior of African Americans. This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he talks about. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African American community.
So,
President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should Americans trust you
I mean, he
over
fucked that up.
your opponent to deal
He
with
couldn't-
racism?
he did a crime bill,
He was, like, stuttering.
1994.
Who
where you
told
called
me to
them
add the crime
super
bill?
predators, African Americans, the super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten
Yeah,
it.
wasn't that the
No,
Clintons?
sir, it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you a super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail
Did I have
now
a crime
that
bill in?
You have treated the African American
Where's the-
population community, you have treated the black community about as
Yeah, it was
bad
Hillary. It
as
wasn't
anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why, if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time, because they saw what you did. You call them super
He fucked up.
predators.
It doesn't matter.
And you've called them worse than that. Because you look
It
back
doesn't
at
matter
your
if you fucked up. No
testimony
one
over
gives a
the years,
shit.
you've called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, and as far as the generals are concerned, we just
should
got
watch
the support of
some of the
200
2016 highlights after
250
this.
military leaders and generals. Total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement, because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats. If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day and they put up their hands and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't.
What is he doing?
The top 10 cities and just about the top 40 cities are run by Democrats and in many cases radical left. And they've got you wrapped around their finger, Joe, to a point where you don't want to say anything about law and order. And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
All right. I want to return to the question of race. Vice President Biden, after the grand jury in the Breonna Taylor case decided not to charge any of the police with homicide, you said it raises the question, quote, whether justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Yes, there is. There's systemic injustice in this country.
How is he stuttering so much?
In law enforcement and the way in which it's enforced.
And it's not.
But look, the vast majority of police officers
thing.
are good, decent, honorable men and women. They risk their lives every day to take care of us.
It's not a stutter, no.
But there are some bad apples. And when they occur, when they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable. And what I'm going to do as President of the United States is call together an entire group of people at the White House, well, everything from the civil rights groups to the police officers to the police chiefs, and we're going to work this out.
This is like directly a product of senility.
So we change the way in which we have more transparency in when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to Breonna Taylor. Most don't like it. But we have to have a system where people are held accountable.
Literal bad apple shit.
And by the way,
this is the political spectrum, baby.
Never appropriate. Never appropriate.
This is the political spectrum.
Violence is never appropriate.
All right.
What is peaceful protest? When they run through the middle of a town and burn down your stores and kill people all over the place,
that
and you
is
say
not
peaceful protest?
President Trump,
No, it's
I'm not
not,
asking.
but you say it is.
President Trump, I'd like to continue with the issue of race. I promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order in a moment. This month, your administration directed federal agencies to end
both law and order?
racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody else, and he would know.
What is radical about racial sensitivity training, sir?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas, and frankly, very sick ideas, and really, they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place, it's a racist place, and they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Vice President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. He's the racist.
You just don't know.
Here's the deal.
Hey, call him a racist.
Let him finish.
The fact is that there is racial insensitivity. People have to be made aware of what other people feel like. What
the spectrum, right?
What is demeaning
it's
to them.
like racism doesn't exist,
they don't
and then the white fragility
Many people
book.
don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but it makes a big difference.
Left and the right.
It makes a gigantic difference in the way a child is able to grow up and have a sense of self-esteem.
Racism is just about feelings.
It's a little bit like
how
we teach
people
this
not
guy
to be racist
and his friends look down on so many people. They look down their nose on people like Irish Catholics like me and grew up in street. They look down on people who don't have money.
He mentioned he was Catholic.
They look down on people who are
I should have added that.
faith. They look down on people who are a different color. In fact,
I should have
we're all
added that.
Americans.
Fuck.
The only way we're going to bring this country together
We need
is bring everybody together.
freedom
There's
for the
nothing
Catholics.
We cannot do if we do it together. We can take this on and we can defeat racism in America.
President Trump, sir.
During the Obama-Biden administration, there was tremendous
He should bring up
division.
that he's nominating
There
a
was
Catholic.
hatred. You look at Ferguson, you look at you go to many places. Look at Oakland.
That's
look what
correct.
happened in Oakland. Look what happened in
Correct
Baltimore.
analysis.
Look what happened. Frankly, it was more violent than what I'm even seeing now.
Oh, my
but the
Lord.
reason is that
ridiculous.
the Democrats that run these
Absolutely
cities
ridiculous.
don't want to talk like you about law and order.
Mike, he honestly is. It's rough.
Are you in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You following
Are you in
it and a little
favor
bit
of law and order? Go
yes,
ahead,
I'm
say
in
it.
favor.
You asked
Everybody's
a
in favor
question,
of
let him finish.
Law and order.
Law and order.
Let him answer.
Law and order with
This is a
justice
shit
where
show.
people get treated fairly. And the fact of the matter is violent crime went down 17%,
I like a little bit of
15%
order.
in our administration.
All right.
It's gone up on his watch.
Went down
He-
much more
he
in
had-
ours.
All right.
Went down much more.
Mr. President, you're going
States
to...
of America.
Mr. President,
there needs.
Mr.
I
President,
mean,
you're going to be very
it's a
happy because
bullshit
we're now
thing.
going to talk about law and order.
Places we had trouble were Democratic
He just keeps going.
cities.
You can't.
That's
The mod
exactly
is
my
too
question.
cut.
There has been a dramatic
The mod is
increase
too
in
cut.
homicides in America this summer,
Wallace
particularly,
is so
and you
cucked, you
often
can't
blame
stop
that
him.
on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in
All we
fact, there
need
have
is
been
Trump accusing
equivalent
Biden of being on
spikes
drugs.
in Republican-led cities like Tulsa and Fort Worth. So the question is this really a party issue?
I think it's a party issue. You can bring in a couple of examples, but if you look at Chicago, what's going on in Chicago, where 53 people were shot and 8 died, shot. If you look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen anything, the numbers are going up 100, 150, 200%
so stupid.
crime. It is crazy what's going on. And he doesn't want to say law and order because he can't, because he'll lose his radical left supporters. And once he does that, it's over with. But if he ever got to run this country and they ran it the way he would want to run it, our suburbs would be gone. By the way, our suburbs would be gone.
Yes, suburbs.
And you would see problems like you've never seen.
He wouldn't know a suburb unless he took a wrong turn.
Oh, I know suburbs.
He would not.
So much
I was
better.
raised.
What?
Go ahead. Wait a minute.
I was raised
Fake
in the suburbs.
suburb
This is
fan.
not
I was raised in the
1950. All
suburbs.
these dog whistles and racism don't
Upper-
work anymore.
upper middle class Joe
Suburbs are
Biden.
by and large integrated.
I
There's many
speak for
people
the
today
suburbs.
driving their kids to soccer practice and/or to black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past. What really is a
You
threat
said dog
to the
whistle?
suburbs and their safety is his failure to deal with COVID. They're dying in the suburbs. His failure to deal with the environment. They're being flooded.
I speak
They're being
for the
burned
the
out
soccer
because
mom.
his refusal to do anything. That's why the suburbs are in trouble.
I do want to talk about this issue of law and order, though. And in the joint recommendation that came from the Biden-Bernie Sanders task force, you talked about, quote, reimagining policing.
He said suburbs were
First of all, what does
integrated.
reimagining policing mean, and do you support?
Listen, man.
Let me, if I might finish the question.
I've been reading.
What does reimagining
I've been reading this
policing
Angela
mean?
Davis
and
book.
do
Come
you
on, man.
support the
Seems
Black
interesting.
Lives Matter?
Oh, it's coming.
Call
It's coming.
for,
It's coming. It's coming,
for
baby.
community control of policing.
Look,
I can feel it.
what I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers. As a matter of fact,
Yes,
police,
no,
local
Davis did
police,
endorse him,
The only
yes.
one defunding it, his budget calls for a $400 million cut in local law enforcement assistance.
Yes!
They need more assistance. They
It's
need, when
Trump
they show
that
up for a
wants to
9/11
defund the
call, to have
police.
someone with them as a psychologist
Let's
or
go!
psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down.
Let's
we have to have
go!
community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know the people in the communities. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up, it went down. And so we have to be engaged.
That's not what
in
they're
prevent-
talking about,
That's-
Chris.
That
That's
counts.
not what
That-
they're talking about.
that's
He's talking
exactly-
about defunding the police.
That is not true.
He doesn't have any law support.
Look,
He has no law enforcement
that's not
support.
true.
Almost
That's
nothing.
look.
Oh, really? Who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you. Go
Look,
ahead.
look.
Think. We have time.
We don't have time to do
No,
anything.
think
so
about
listen.
it.
Oh no!
Name one law enforcement group that came out and
I
supported
think, gentlemen,
you,
I think
Joe.
I'm going to take back the
There aren't.
moderator's
I don't
role,
think there are any.
and I want to get to another subject, which is
We
the
don't have
issue
any
of
time.
protests in many cities that have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially,
got
we
him
had
there.
more than 100
I mean, that's based.
straight
It's
days
cool that
of
he doesn't have
protests,
any cop
which I think you would
endorsements.
agree. You talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned
We're not
into
peaceful.
riots. Mr. Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is as the Democratic nominee, and earlier tonight you said that you are the Democratic Party right now. Have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you stop the days and months of violence?
What a stupid fucking question.
I don't hold public office now.
That was dumber than I thought it was going to be.
I've made it clear.
You're the nominee.
I've made it clear in my public statements.
Why is it? Why didn't you stop the fucking?
It should be prosecuted, and anyone who commits it.
But you've never called for the people, the leader. Excuse me, sir. You have never called for the leaders in Portland and.
Yeah, it's a Fox moderator. I'm just surprised they haven't
knock off 100 days of riots.
They can, in fact, take care of it if he just stay out of the way. Look here.
Oh, really?
Oh,
really?
Here's the thing.
I sent in the U.S. Marshals to get the killer of the young man in the middle of the street. They shot him, and for 3 days,
President Trump,
Portland wouldn't do anything. I had to send in the U.S. Marshals. They took care of business.
Go ahead, sir.
And by the way, you know, his own former spokesperson said, you know, riots and chaos and violence help his cause. That's what this is all about.
I don't know who said that.
I do.
Who?
I think Kellyanne Conway.
I don't think she said that.
She said that.
Oh,
and so here's the point.
Kellyanne
that's
Conway.
what he is keep
Was that actually who said it? Did he fuck that up?
He doesn't want to calm things down.
Did he fuck that up?
Instead of going in and talking to people
Who actually said it?
Let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with this. What's he do?
Was it her?
He just pours gasoline in the fire constantly.
He was right.
Single
He was right.
Okay, and to end this, button up this segment, I'm going to give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly criticized.
Wait, I have to answer his statement.
No, you have
his
repeatedly.
Wait,
you have repeatedly. No, you've been talking back
and forth.
You made
a statement.
I'm asking you.
I would love to
end it.
Sir. I would love to end it.
You know, if you want to switch seats.
We would very quickly.
We could do that, but
I'd send in the National Guard. It would be over. There'd be no problem.
Okay.
But they don't want to accept the National Guard.
Biden is just not doing anything.
The vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist
groups. He's just not doing
groups.
anything.
But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not
Trump is doing
add
this type
to
of
the
shit,
violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen
Which
in
is a good
Portland.
example
Are you
of like
prepared to specifically
do it.
Well, go ahead.
Not following the rules is better.
Almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
Who would you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left. Because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing.
FBI director
This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Base!
That's what his
Base!
FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
No, we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next. We're moving.
Go off, King!
Everybody in your administration tells you the truth has a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no idea.
Antifa is a dangerous,
all right,
radical
gentlemen,
group.
we're now moving on to the Trump and Biden records.
They'll overthrow you.
When a president, I'm going to ask a question.
That's right, baby.
When the president seeks a second term, it is generally a referendum on his record. But Vice President Biden, you like to quote one of your dad's sayings, which is, don't compare me to the almighty, compare me to the alternative. And in this case, sir, you are the alternative. Looking at both of your records, I'm going to ask each of you, why should voters elect you president over your opponent? In this segment, President Trump, you go first, 2 minutes.
Because there has never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax. And you saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job.
Let's
but
go,
despite going
dude.
Through all of these
all he
things,
needs to do is say malarkey.
Both flanks and behind me and above.
We're so close,
never been
baby.
An administration that's done what I've done. The greatest, before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history, lowest unemployment numbers. Everything was good. Everything was going. And by the way, there was unity going to happen. People were calling me for the first time in years. They were calling. And they were saying, it's time maybe, and then what happened? We got hit, but now we're building it back up again. A rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things. a fixing of the VA, which was a mess under him. 308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. It was a mess. And we now got a 91% approval rating at the VA, our vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt our military. The job that we've done, and I'll tell you something, some people say maybe the most important. By the end of the first term, I'll have approximately 300 federal judges and Court of Appeals judges, 300, and hopefully 3 great Supreme Court justices. That is a record, the likes of which very few people, and you know one of the reasons I'll have so many judges? Because President Obama and him left me 128 judges to fill. When you leave office, you don't leave any judges. That's like, you just don't do that. They left 128 openings, and if I were a member of his party, because they have a little different philosophy, I'd say if you left us
just
128 openings, you can't be a good president. You can't be a good vice president. But I want to thank you because it gives us almost, it'll probably be above that number by the end of this term. 300 judges. It's a record.
Looking at both your records, why should voters elect you president as opposed to President Trump? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Under this president, we become weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, and more violent. When I was vice president, we inherited a recession. I was asked to fix it. I did. We left him
rejects modernity, embrace tradition.
And he caused a recession.
Joe Biden 2020.
With regard to being weaker, the fact is that I've gone head-to-head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even say anything to Putin about the bounty on the heads of American soldiers.
No.
And by the way, my son...
Wait a minute. Mr. President, your campaign agreed to both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He never keeps his word. Can you
I'm not asking. That was a rhetorical question.
Can you
Go
add
ahead,
back
sir.
30 seconds?
Yeah, yes, you may have.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have gotten much more wealthy.
That's good. The response, he never keeps his word. That's good.
More
he
just
agreed
since
to
COVID.
It, and he interrupted
you in the
anyways.
home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before. In terms of being more violent, when we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and just being suckers. My son was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes. Really? And I resent.
Are you talking about Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Beau Biden. You're talking about.
I don't know Beau. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
that is simply
and various
not
other places.
True.
He made a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions of dollars?
But he wasn't given tens of millions of dollars. That is totally discredited.
We've already been
totally discredited.
We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial subjects. Well, you know, as the moderator, sir, I'm going to make a judgment call here.
$3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow.
He has no power. The moderator has no power.
The report is totally discredited.
Trump is running this shit.
Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money, that report. It was written for political reasons.
You know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
Okay. The forest fires in the West are raging now. They have burned millions of acres. They have displaced hundreds of thousands of people. When state officials there blame the fires on climate change, Mr. President, you said, I don't think the science knows. Over your 4 years, you have pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord. You
Trump
have
is
rolled
making a
back a
fool out of
number of
himself?
Obama environmental
Interesting.
records.
That's
What do you
possible.
believe about the science of climate change?
I mean, it is embarrassing for
and
Trump.
what will you do
He
in the
cannot
next
shut the
4
fuck up.
years to confront it?
I want crystal clean water and air. I want beautiful clean air. We have now the lowest carbon.
I
If you
want the
look
best
at
air,
our
folks.
numbers right
I
now,
love clean air.
we are doing
crystal clean,
phenomenally.
crystal clean.
But I haven't
Folks, we're
destroyed
gonna
our
filter the air.
businesses. Our businesses aren't put out of commission.
It's a big,
If
beautiful
you look
air,
at
folks.
the Paris
Who
Accord,
doesn't like
it was
air?
a
Who doesn't like
disaster from
clean
our
air?
standpoint. And people are actually very happy about what's going on because our businesses are doing well. As far as the fires are concerned, you need forest management in addition to everything else. The forest floors are loaded up with trees, dead trees that are years old, and they're like tinder, and leaves and everything else. You drop a cigarette in there, the whole forest burns down. You've got to have forest management.
What do you
You've got to have
believe?
cuts.
What do you believe about the science of climate change, sir?
I believe that we have to do everything we can to have immaculate air, immaculate water, and do whatever else we can that's good. You know, we're planting a billion trees, the Billion Tree Project.
A billion
and
trees.
It's very
Do you
exciting
believe
for a lot of people.
that human pollution, greenhouse gas emissions contributes to the global warming of this
I think
planet?
a lot of things do, but I think to an extent, yes. I think to an extent,
To an
yes. But I also
extent.
think we have to do better management of our forests. Every year, I get the call, California's burning. California's burning. If that was clean,
I cannot wait
if
for
that
Trump
were-
canned
If
air,
you had forest
absolutely.
management, good forest management, you wouldn't be getting those
the best
calls.
air,
You know,
folks.
in Europe, they live, they
Make
have
the best
forest
air.
cities. They're called forest cities. They maintain their forests. They manage their forests. I was with the head of a major country. It's a forest city. He said, "Sir, we have trees that are
Yeah,
far
we need
more,
Trump to
they
become an
ignite much
eco-fascist.
easier than California.
At least
there
there's an
shouldn't
eco
be
part
that
of it.
problem." I spoke with the governor about it. I'm getting along very well with the governor. But I said, you know, at some point, you can't every year have hundreds of thousands of acres of land just burned to the ground. That's burning down because of a lack of
But,
management.
sir, if you believe in the science of climate change, why have you rolled back the Obama Clean Power Plan, which limited carbon emissions in power plants?
question.
Why have you relaxed?
Because it was driving energy prices through the sky.
Why have you
Yeah,
relaxed
that's the
fuel
problem.
economy standards
That's
that
an issue.
are going to create more
He was talking
pollution
about
from
Bolsonaro.
cars?
I
Not
fucking
really,
bet he was.
because what's happening is the car is much less expensive and it's a much safer car, and you're talking about a tiny difference. And then what would happen, because of the cost of the car, you would have at least
I'm still
double
waiting
and
for
triple
Biden
the
to say
number
he's
of
better
cars
on oil.
purchased. We have the old slugs out there that are 10, 12 years
That
old.
oil is-
if
that
you did that, the car
oil
would be
barons should
safer.
support
It
him.
would be much cheaper by
But in the case of
$3,500.
California, they've simply
No, but you
ignored
would take
your-
a lot
your
of cars
rollback.
off the market because people would be able
I
to
say
afford a
Cheatwave,
car.
thank you for the gift sub.
Now,
Or 3 gift subs.
So, and by the way, we're going to see how that turns out. But a lot of people agree with me. Many people. The car has gotten
Yeah, this
so
could backfire for
expensive
Trump.
because they have computers all over the place for an extra little bit of gasoline. And, and I'm okay with electric cars, too. I think I'm all for electric cars. I've given big incentives for electric cars. But what they've done in California is just crazy.
Vice President Biden, I'd
People
like you
this is
to
Poland,
respond
yeah.
to
I'm
the
waiting for
president's
Serbia.
climate change record, but I also want to
'Cause he
ask
could bring
you
that up,
about
Serbia,
a concern.
Kosovo.
You proposed $2 trillion in green jobs. You talk about new limits, not abolishing,
good.
but new limits on fracking, ending the use of fossil fuels to generate electricity by 2035, and zero net emission of greenhouse gases by 2050. The president says a lot of these things would tank the economy and cost millions of jobs.
He's absolutely wrong, number one. Number two,
I mean, yeah,
if
it's
in
like really
fact,
common
when,
sense.
during our administration, the Recovery Act, I was
Sort
able
of
to, I was
Green
in
New
charge,
Deal
able to
light,
bring down
basically.
the cost of renewable energy to cheaper than or as cheap as coal and gas and oil. Nobody's
Green
going to
Deal
build
bans
another
fracking, of course.
coal-fired plant in America. No one's going to build another oil-fired plant in America.
Zero greenhouse
They're gonna
emissions
move
by
to renewable
2450,
energy, number
yeah.
one. Number two, we're going to make sure that we are able to take the federal fleet and turn it into a fleet that's
It's a
run
little- by a
on
large
their
margin.
electric
I mean,
vehicles. Making
listen,
sure that we
Mac,
can do that. We're going
I'm
to
gonna abolish the market.
100,000 charging stations.
Can't
and
be
all of
fully
the highways
sustainable.
that
Come
we're
on,
going to be
man.
building in the future.
We're gonna do socialism.
We're going to build
That's the only,
an
like,
economy
you know.
that, in fact, is going to provide for the ability us to take 4 million buildings and make sure that they, in fact, are weatherized in
Listen,
a way
Mac,
that, in fact,
come on, man. We're gonna do a
they'll
degrowth.
emit significantly less gas
We're gonna stop
and oil
using
because
growth
the
as a
heat will
margin
not be going out. There's so many
for
things
the
that we
economy.
can do now to create thousands and thousands of jobs. We can get to net zero in terms of energy production
Joker.
by 2035. Not only
Rex
not
James,
costing
thank you
people
for the 2
jobs,
months.
creating jobs, creating millions of good paying jobs, not $15 an hour, but prevailing wage, by having a new infrastructure that in fact is green.
All Trump
And
had to do to win is shut the fuck
I will
up. Yeah.
rejoin the Paris Accord.
That's true.
I will join the Paris Accord
that is
because
true.
with us out of it, look what's happening.
That
It's
did
all
that did
falling
look real
apart.
bad.
And talk about someone who has no relationship.
I mean, it was
to-
so
with
fucking
foreign
blatant,
policy.
man.
Brazil, the rainforests of Brazil are being torn down, are being ripped down. More carbon is absorbed in that rainforest than every bit of carbon that's emitted in the United States.
Correct.
Instead of doing something about
need
that,
2
I would be
rainforests.
gathering up and making sure we had the countries.
Remember
of the
when he
world
called
coming up with
Bolsonaro
$20 billion and say,
Baldacero?
here's $20 billion. Stop tearing down
gonna
the
fucking
forest.
work.
And if you don't, then you're going to have significant.
Then we're gonna take away your
economic
$20 billion.
consequences.
What about the argument that President Trump basically says that you
I'm
have
gonna
to
tell-
balance
I'm gonna tell
environmental
people
interests
racism,
and
knock it
economic
off, please.
interests, and he's drawn his line.
Well, he hadn't drawn a line. He still,
Who do you
for
think
example,
will have
make
their
sure that he
Adderall
wants to
wear
make
off
sure
first?
that methane
Alley
is not
Cat,
a
thank you for the
problem.
2 months.
You can now emit more methane without it being a problem.
That's a good
Methane.
question.
This is a guy who
Not
says
true.
that you don't have to have
Wrong.
mileage standards for automobiles that exist now. This is a guy who says
was-
that. Well, the
Yeah, we
fact
only-
that-
there-
it's all true.
There's
Here's
his-
the
Talking
deal.
about the
He-
Green New
There's his
Deal,
Adderall
and it's
wearing
not
off.
2 billion or 20 billion, as you said. It's $100 trillion.
I'm talking about
where they
the
want to
Biden
rip down
plan.
Go for a
buildings
minute and then you can go.
and rebuild the building.
No,
It's the
that is
dumbest,
not-
most
that
ridiculous.
is not
where
the case.
airplanes are out of
Wait a minute, sir.
business,
That's it.
where two-car systems are out, where they
Not
want
true.
to take out the cows too.
Not
That's not
true.
true either, right?
Not
this
true.
is a
I don't have a
this
Twitter
is a
anymore.
100
Simply,
trillion.
look,
That's more money than our
that is-
country
Well,
could
considering
make in
that is
100
removing
years
planes,
if we
considering
not-
planes
All right,
caused
let me-
9/11,
let me-
it's sort of
let me-
problematic for Trump
Because
to
I actually,
disagree
wait a
with
minute,
that.
sir. I actually
Without
have
planes, there
studied
couldn't
your
have been a
plan,
9/11.
and it includes upgrading
So
4
I think
million
that's pretty
buildings,
cool.
weatherizing
I
2
think the
million
Green New Deal
homes
remove
over
planes.
4 years, building 1.5 million energy-efficient homes. So the question becomes, the president is saying, I think some people who support the president would say that sounds like it's going to cost a lot of money and hurt the economy.
What it's going to do is going to create thousands and millions
Also,
of
follow
jobs,
me on
good
Twitter.
paying
Also,
jobs.
But let him finish, sir.
He doesn't know how to do that.
$100
They-
billion.
The fact is, it's going to create millions of good
It'll
paying
ping you when I go
jobs.
live if you follow
and
my
these tax
Discord.
incentives to people for people to weatherize, which he wants to get rid of. It's going to make the economy much safer. Look how much we're paying now to deal with the hurricanes. By the way, he has an answer for hurricanes. He said maybe we should drop a nuclear weapon on them. They may.
I never
He did
said
say that. He did say
made
that.
it up.
And here's the deal.
You make up a
we
lot of things.
we are going to be in a position where we can create hard, good jobs by making sure the
Hard,
environment is
long,
clean and we all are in better shape. We
graspable
spend billions
jobs.
of dollars now. Billions of dollars on floods,
Hard,
hurricanes,
wet,
rising seas.
veiny
We're
jobs,
in real
sorry.
trouble. Look what's happened just in the Midwest with these storms that come through and wipe out entire sections and counties in Iowa. They didn't happen before. They're because of global warming.
Wet ass
we
jobs,
make up
yeah.
15% of the world's problem. We, in fact, but the rest of the world, we've got to get them to come along. That's why we have to get back into the Paris Accord.
All right, gentlemen.
Wait a minute, Chris. So why didn't he do it for 47 years? You were vice president. Why didn't you get the world? China sends up real dirt into the air. Russia does. India does. They all do. We're supposed to be good. And by the way, he made a couple of statements. The Green New Deal is $100 trillion.
That is
not
not
$20
my
billion.
plan.
That's
the Green
well,
New
you want to
Deal
rebuild every
is
building.
not my plan.
You want to
All
rebuild
right.
every.
If he knew anything about, if he knew
Gentlemen,
He
anything
made a
about,
statement about the military. He said I said something about the military. He and his friends made it
This is
up, and then
totally-
they went with it.
'cause he's
I
just
never
bouncing
said,
around,
that
right?
is
What
not
he
true.
did
Sir,
is he
you're done in
said
this segment.
he called
Mr.
them
This is how you do
Vice
Twitch
President,
debates.
stupid bastards.
I
And he
did
said
not
it
say
Yes!
on He said
Mr.
stupid
Please.
bastards. He
Not
said
Sir,
it.
stop.
I would never
I
say
would
that.
play
to
it.
I
Trump.
would
Play
never
it.
say that on
Go
national
ahead.
TV.
Mr.
You're on
Vice
tape.
President, answer
He did do
his
that.
his
That was
final
based.
question.
The final question is, I can't remember which
This
of
is
all
how
his
you-
rantings. it was.
You know,
little
much.
trouble. I'm having
This
a
is
little
how you
trouble
do Twitch
myself,
debates.
and about the economy and about this question of what it's going to cost.
You just fucking bounce around.
economy.
I mean, the Green New Deal and the idea of what
the
your
Green
environmental
New
changes
Deal-
will do.
The Green New Deal will pay for itself as we move forward. We're not going to build plants that, in fact, are great polluting plants.
So do you
We're going to
support
build
the Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
Do you support?
No, I don't support the Green New
You
Deal.
don't? Oh, well, that's a big statement.
I
That
support
means you
the
just lost the radical left.
I support
you
the
don't.
Biden plan that I put forward.
Okay.
The Biden plan, which is different than what he calls the radical Green New Deal.
All right, gentlemen, final segment. Election integrity. As we meet tonight, millions of Americans are receiving mail-in ballots or going to vote early. How confident should we be that this will be a fair election? And what are you prepared to do over the next 5+ weeks? Because it'll not only be to Election Day, but also counting some ballots, mail-in ballots after Election Day. What are you prepared to do to reassure the American people that the next president will be the legitimate winner of this election? In this final segment, Mr. Vice President, you go first.
Prepared to let people vote. They should go to
Please say malarkey.
iwillvote.com. Decide how they're going to
Please
vote,
say
when they're going to
malarkey.
vote, and what means by which they're going to vote.
Please.
His own Homeland Security Director, and as well as the FBI Director, says
We're
there is
so
no
close.
evidence at all that mail-in ballots are a source of being manipulated and cheating. They said that. The fact is that there are going to be millions of people because of
That
COVID
classic
that are going to
Trump,
be
like,
voting by mail-in ballots,
smirk,
like
I
he
guess?
does, by the way. He sits behind the Resolute desk and sends his ballot to Florida, number one. Number two, we're going to make sure that those people who want to vote in person are able to vote because enough poll watchers are there to make sure they can socially distance. The polls are open on time, and the polls stay open until the votes are counted. And this is all about trying to dissuade people from voting because he's trying to scare people into thinking that it's not going to be legitimate. Show up and vote. You will determine the outcome of this election. Vote, vote, vote. If you're able to vote early in your state, vote early. If you're able to vote in person, vote in person. Vote whatever way is the best way for you, because he cannot stop you from being able to determine the outcome of this election. And in terms of whether or not when the votes are counted, and they're all counted, that will be accepted. If I win, that will be accepted. If I lose, that'll be accepted. But by the way, if in fact he says he's not sure what he's going to accept, well, let me tell you something.
Biden says for you to vote multiple
if we get
times.
The votes, it's going to be all over. He's going to go. He can't stay in power.
It sounds like
It won't
voter fraud
happen.
to me.
It won't happen. So vote. Just make sure you understand you have it in your control to determine what this country is going to look like the next 4 years. Is it going to change, or are you going to get 4 more years of these lies?
Mr. President, 2 minutes.
So when I listened to Joe talking about a transition, there's been no transition from when I won. I won that election. And if you look at Brooke and Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different
the only transition
people,
I've gone
there was
through
no transition
is
because
these
they
fat,
came
juicy
after me
titties
trying
from
to do a
estrogen.
coup. They came after me spying on my campaign.
Yes,
they started from the
Obamagate.
day I won and even before I won. From the day I came down the escalator with our
Folks,
First Lady.
I'm trans.
They
I'm trans now.
were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country.
It's
and we've
transphobic
caught
to not
them.
vote for me.
We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that because we caught you in a sense. And President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too. So don't tell me about a free transition. As far as the ballots are concerned, it's a disaster. A solicited ballot, okay, solicited is okay.
I guess we didn't get
You're
this. We
asking,
didn't
they
get
send
this.
it back, you send it back.
No
I
bingo
did that.
today.
If you have an unsolicited, they're sending millions of ballots all over the country. There's fraud.
That's not a
They
mention of
found them in
QAnon.
creeks.
I meant like
they
a
found
mention
some
of
with the
QAnon.
name Trump. Just happened to have the name Trump just the other day in a waste paper basket.
In a waste
They're
paper-
being
they found it
sent
in a
all
waste
over
paper
the place.
basket.
They
were
sent
looking through
2
garbage,
in the Democrat area.
and
they
they just
sent out
found it.
1,000 ballots. Everybody got 2 ballots. This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen. The other thing, it's nice on November 3rd, you're watching and you see who won the election. And I think we're going to do well because people are really happy with the job we've done. But you know what?
No, he didn't mention
we won't know. We
QAnon.
might not know for
That's
months.
not- that doesn't
because
count.
these ballots are going to be all over. Take a look at what happened in Manhattan. Take a look at what happened in
I meant
New Jersey. Take a look at
Biden
what happened in
mentioning
Virginia
it.
and other places.
What
They're
am I
not losing
thinking?
2%, 1%, which,
So,
by the way, is too much. An
Freeman.
election could be won or lost with that. They're losing 30 and 40%.
Clear 2.0.
It's a fraud, and it's a shame. And can you
just
imagine where they
Republican
say
talking points.
you have to have your ballot in by November 10th?
Not
November
Seaman.
10th.
No.
That means that's
No.
7 days after
No.
the election, in theory, should have been announced.
Okay.
We have major states with that,
Sir,
all run by Democrats.
2 minutes is 2 minutes.
All run by Democrats. It's
President Trump,
it's a rigged election.
You're going to be able to continue. You have been charging for months that mail-in balloting is going to be a disaster. You say it's rigged, that it's going to lead to fraud. But in 2018,
Isn't it over?
in the last midterm
Do we have
election,
another 30 more minutes?
1 million people voted.
I thought it was till
mail-in
10:30.
voting. That was
9 to 10:30.
More than a quarter of all the voters that year cast their ballots by mail.
Is it about time?
Now that millions of mail-in ballots have
Overtime,
gone out,
baby, OT.
what are you going to do about it? And are you counting on the Supreme Court, including a Justice Barrett, to settle any dispute?
Yeah, I think I'm counting on them to look at the ballots, definitely. I hope we don't need them in terms of the election itself. But for the
They
ballots,
might rig
I think
this shit
so.
with
Because
fucking
what's happening is incredible.
Supreme Court.
I read today where at least 1%
so
of the ballots
powerful.
for 2016 were invalidated. They take them, we don't like them, we don't like them.
But what
They
are you
throw
going to
them
do
out
about it?
left
There
and
are
right.
millions of ballots going out
What
right
you
now.
do
What
is
are
you
gonna
go
do?
and vote. You do a solicited ballot,
No,
and that's
I'm not-
okay,
I know
or
your
you go and
complaint.
vote.
I'm asking you about the fact that millions of people
You go
have
and vote. You go and
No,
vote
but
like
what I'm
they
saying is, what are
like
you
they
gonna do
used
about
to
the
in
fact
the
that
old.
millions of people?
You either do, Chris, a solicited ballot where you're sending it in, they're sending it back, and you're sending. They have mailmen
it's
with
just
lots
literal
of it. Did you
fucking
see what's going on?
nonsense.
Take a look at West Virginia. Mailmen selling the ballots. They're being sold. They're being dumped in rivers. This is a horrible thing for our country.
There is no.
This is not.
There is no.
This is
evidence
not
of
going to
that.
end well.
There is
Okay.
no
This
evidence
is
of that.
not going
Vice
to
President
end
Biden's
well.
up
Five
is the word.
states
Fact.
have had
Go ahead,
mail-in
sir.
ballots
Who can relate,
for the
folks?
last decade or more. 5, including 2 Republican states. And you don't have to solicit the ballot. It's sent to you. It's sent to your home. What they're saying is that it has to be a postmark by the time, by election day. If it doesn't get in till the 7th, 8th, 9th, it still should be counted. He's just afraid of counting the votes because he knows
You're
the
wrong.
outcome.
You're wrong.
I want to continue with you on this.
love
Vice
counting the
President
It's a classic
Biden,
Chris, he's so
bring back
wrong when he
wrong.
makes a statement like that.
Excuse me.
Wrong.
Vice President Biden, the biggest problem, in fact, over the years with mail-in voting has not been fraud
That's an all-timer.
historically.
I'm glad he's
It has
bringing that
been
one back.
Sizable
Trump
numbers, sometimes
classic.
hundreds of thousands of ballots are thrown out because they have not been properly filled out, or there is some other irregularity, or they missed the deadline. So the question I have is, are you concerned that the Supreme Court, with a Justice Barrett, will settle any dispute?
I'm concerned that any court would settle this because here's the deal. When you get a ballot and you fill it out, you're supposed to have an affidavit. If you didn't know, you have someone say that this is me.
You
You
saw
should
that
be
tweet?
able to, if
Which
in fact
tweet?
you can verify that's you before the ballot is thrown out, that's sufficient to be able to count the ballot because someone made a mistake and not dotting the correct I. Who they voted for, testify, say who they voted for, say it's you. That is totally legitimate.
All right.
Excuse me, Chris, when you have 80 million ballots,
I have a final
sending
question.
and swamping the system,
you
know it can't be done. You know it can't, and already
All
there's
right.
been
So now,
fraud.
Mail service delivers
wait a minute, gentlemen. In the
185
final
million
question
pieces of mail a
is,
day.
in 8 states, we can keep talking.
They're
In
debating.
8
It's a
states,
disgrace.
election workers are prohibited, currently by law, 8 states, from even beginning to
Thank you for the 2
process
months.
ballots, even take them out of the envelopes and
Yes.
flatten them until Election Day. That means that it's likely, because there's going to be a huge increase in mail-in balloting, that we are not going to know on election night who the winner is, that it could be
Possibly.
days, it could be weeks.
Could be months.
Until we find out who the new president is. So
Thank you, Trump. Thank
first
you.
for you, sir.
Thank you, Donald.
Finally, for the vice president, I
Very
hope neither
much.
of you will interrupt the other. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm during this extended
fucking
period,
ad-lib to
not
the
to
question.
engage in any civil unrest? And will you pledge tonight that you will not declare victory until the election
Thank
has
you for
been
the 200
independently
bits.
certified? President Trump, you
I'm
go first.
urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully because that's what has to happen. I am urging them to do it. As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia,
That's
they went in
crazy
to
that he
watch.
said
They were
that.
they're called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing.
What is that,
They were thrown
like,
out. They
just
weren't allowed
harass
to watch.
people?
You know why? 'Cause
Literally,
bad
like-
things happen in Philadelphia. Bad things. And
Literally
I am
just harass people who
I
go
am
to the polls.
urging my people. I hope it's
Ask
going to be a
people if
fair
they're
election.
voting
If
for
it's a
Trump,
fair
and if they're
election,
not, rough
I
them
am
up.
100% on board.
That's like-
But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that. And I'll tell you
what does that mean,
from a
not go
common
along?
sense,
Does that mean you're
I'll tell
gonna
you
tell
what
your
it means.
people to take to the
It means you have a fraudulent election. You're
And what
sending
are you
out
gonna do?
80
And
million
what would you
ballots.
do
They're
about
not.
that?
They're not equipped to. These people aren't equipped to handle it. Number one. Number two. They cheat. They cheat. Hey, they found ballots in a waste paper basket 3 days ago, and they all had the name military ballots. They were military. They all had the name Trump on them.
Vice President
you think
Biden,
that's good?
Vice President Biden, final question for you. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm while the vote is counted?
Please
and will
say
you
Malarkey
pledge
King.
not
I
to
want the
declare
double
victory
bingo so
until
badly.
the election is independently certified?
Yes, and here's the deal. We count the ballots, as you pointed out. Some of these ballots in some states can't even be opened until Election Day. And if there's thousands of ballots, it's going to take time to do it. And by the way, our military, they've been voting by ballots since the end of the Civil War, in effect. And that's what's going to happen. Why was it not? Why is it for them
Andrew's
somehow
a very funny photo.
not fraudulent? It's the same process. It's honest. No one has established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots, that somehow it's a fraudulent process.
It's already been established. Take a look at Carolyn Maloney's race.
I asked you had an opportunity to respond.
He just keeps going. He can't stop himself.
President Biden, go ahead.
He has no
Donnie
idea what he's talking
Unchained.
about. Here's the deal. The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why?
This is
Because
more than in 2016,
once
by the way.
winner is declared after all the
Definitely,
ballots are
right?
counted,
We'll have to
all the
rewatch
votes are counted.
some of the debate
That'll be
highlights
the end of
after
it.
this.
That'll be the end of it.
We can
And if
compare
it's me, in fact,
Trump's
fine. If it's
performance 4
not
years
me,
ago to now.
I'll support the outcome. And I'll be a president not just for the Democrats. I'll be a president for Democrats and Republicans. And this guy,
I want to
if
see
in
an
fact,
honest ballot count.
Gentlemen, you say that's the end of it? This is the
I
end
wanna
of this
see an
debate?
honest ballot count.
We're
And I
going to
think
leave
he
it
does
there.
too.
To be continued
Jesus
in more
Christ,
debates
man.
as we go on.
That was
President
a Twitch
Trump,
stream debate.
Vice President Biden, it's been an interesting hour and a half. I want to thank you both for participating in the first of 3 debates that you have agreed
can't help
to engage
himself.
in. We want to thank Case
When's the
Western
next one?
Reserve
When's the next
University
one?
and the Cleveland Clinic for hosting this event. The next debate, sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates, will be 1 week from tomorrow, October 7th, at the
1 week
University
from
of Utah.
tomorrow.
In Salt Lake City, the 2 vice presidential nominees, Vice President Mike
it's the
Pence
vice
and
presidential
Senator
one.
Kamala Harris, will debate at 9 p.m. Eastern that
Oh,
night.
that's
We
boring,
hope you watch.
actually.
Until then, thank you
Oh,
and good night.
some Mamala. No. We're gonna watch it, obviously.
Thank you.
It's on Wednesday. I'll probably still. I usually don't stream on Wednesday, but I'll stream anyways. It's gonna be some Resident Sleeper for the next debate. Okay. Let's do a poll. Who won? No bingo, sadly. We were so fucking close, chat. We were so close to a bingo. If he just said Malarkey. Alright, manage poll. Alright. Who won? And because this is a bourgeois democracy, you can do extra votes for bits. Since we do live in a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie.
President Trump, the greatest president of all time.
Who won? Trump, Biden. There we go. I mean, yeah, the mods lost, absolutely. Put a no one? Sorry, you have to vote. This is I'm enforcing the capitalist oligarchical duopoly. You have to vote one of them. Okay, hold on. We will we'll watch some highlights from the 2016 one. Now, I'm very curious. So, I'm not honestly quite sure what to think.
Bad cops.
Schrodinger's Cat Girl, thank you for the tier 2 at 8 months. Schrodinger's Cat Girl, thank you for the tier 2 at 8 months. I gotta thank you twice if you do tier 2, etc. How do I get... Oh, that's a fucking rough bingo card. We can look at that. How do I fucking get this on the screen? How do I get a link for the fucking... Ace the Degenerate, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Please write in Hill Dog, thank you. Yeah, so far it's mainly Trump. Rena Ramon, thank you for the tier 2 at 2 months. 2 months. Rena Ramon, thank you for the tier 2 at 2 months. Okay, so it's Trump 123, Biden 72. Trump's response to being told to denounce the Proud Boys. He said yes. He said stand back and stand by. Let's watch this again.
White supremacists and militia groups, and to say
I mean, that's
they
crazy.
Need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland.
That's,
Are you prepared to specifically
do it?
Well, go ahead,
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
Which is wrong, which is empirically incorrect.
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
white supremacists.
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys.
Stand back and
stand by, but I'll tell you what.
Stand back and stand by.
Somebody's got to do something about.
Oh, we got a hype train too.
The left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing.
Director.
Are you willing?
Yeah, he I mean, he's smart about that. He knows. He knows that he can't fucking. Let me hold on. I'll just you can just see my stream manager. I guess this is fine. So it's 135 to 76 at the moment. I think you guys think Trump won, right? I think that's the consensus. Yeah, so there's the two. Biden obviously shit his pants. I think we can fairly objectively say that there was quite a few sessions. There's quite a few moments there where he just could not fucking finish a sentence, or Trump would say something that's just blatantly bullshit, and Biden has a chance to respond, and he just fucking gets nothing. Oh shit! Dumb and Awful, thank you for the 20 fucking gift subs. Shout out, friend of the stream. Follow them, they also stream. It's Brett or Rob, I'm not sure which one.
Do we like Dick yet?
Rob is usually on the Twitch, right? Rob is usually the Twitch. It's Rob, thank you so much, Rob. I hope you're doing well.
What the fuck?
Yeah, as a
fucking say
as a okay. Yeah, so Trump the Liv posting poll. Not Rob Rousseau, no. Different Rob.
Yes.
There are more than one Robs. As the poll has said, and the poll is a general consensus, this is like when Trump does a poll of his approval rating. Yes. In a rally, and he's like, look at all the people that love me here. Folks, how could I lose Pennsylvania? How could I lose Pennsylvania if all these people support me in the crowd? We're doing one of those, and according to this poll, Trump has won 147 to 84. It's almost. I'm wondering how many of those are voter fraud, extra bits to vote.
Did you just fucking
but yeah, it seems like Biden shit his pants probably about as much as we would have expected him to. I think people were expecting Biden to shit his pants, so that sort of affects it. It's like in 2004, where because there's a lot of these. It was like in 2004, when people expected Bush to eat shit, against Cheney, to such an extent that when Bush did okay, people weren't that mad, or people thought he did better. Ace the Degenerate, thank you for the 200 bits. So I think considering people thought Biden was gonna be senile or whatever, this is American society. This is basically American politics, though. Given that,
right, that's it
then.
Goodbye. Good luck.
Biden might have done a bit better. Plus, Trump was interrupting people. Trump was interrupting so fucking much. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I still think fucking Trump did it. I think people are gonna go out of that. I think people are gonna be mad that he doesn't have manners. But all the people that are mad about that aren't voting for him anyways. Right? Oh shit, we have a hype train too. Regardless, it was a fucking joke. Actually, maybe I'm not allowed to show this because it's a part of a movie. Regardless, it was a joke. It was a meme. Let's look. Here's our bingo. It was an absolute meme. Do you guys want hard on? Okay, I'll play hard on. I'll play the fucking lizard because it's a hype train. Folks, we got a lot of good emotes. If you would like to subscribe, 26 tier 1s, they're all very cool. We were very close. We were very, very close. This says Biden says malarkey. I don't know why it fucked up. And then if anyone mentioned Q, if anyone mentioned Q, it would have worked. What else? If Trump accused Biden of being on drugs, here to be subbing. We'll have to see it, folks. We'll have to see it. COVID Liv? Yeah, the debate was so awful it made me sick. Sarah Nicole Roberts, thank you for the 100 bits. You want to change the music or those are just hearing? Okay. Flash Poe. Liv posting or Kamala Harris? Which one, folks? Choose wisely. That's actually what's gonna be. I'm actually Trump's VP pick. What else? We were one off in one other place, weren't we? Maybe that's it. But yeah, it was close. Ban all Kamala voters, yeah. I'm curious to see the reaction of people, cause I think, yeah, I don't know. There's still sort of a debate, or Ellie the comic, thank you for the gift sub. There's sort of a, oh well, this is under. About how much the fucking debates actually do. So a lot of this is sort of aesthetic. Thank you for the hype train. Once again, everybody. I'm glad all of you are voting, Liv posting. All the Kamala Harris voters, your names have been written down. We will be, you know, we'll be reporting that to the NKVD, and you will, you know, we will deal with you, of course. But thank you to everyone who voted for Liv posting. Yeah, okay. We tried. We got close. The next one, next debate, which we will be streaming all the debates, of course. Is the hype train still going on? Oh, it's done. We will be streaming all the debates, of course. Next debate, we'll get it. I believe in us. But yeah, let's watch some 2016 debate stuff. I want to see how Trump acted differently 4 years ago compared to now. I want a larger one. Let's see. I want to see what they're fucking saying too.
Points going into this debate. I think he's probably still down 7 points after it.
I think this debate was an unmitigated disaster, and I think Trump's performance has shown me exactly why our country is in the state that we're in right now. The fact that we've survived to this point with that kind of leadership, I think, is amazing. I think, you know, Joe Biden's challenge was, as my grandmother said, don't make sense out of foolishness, it'll make a fool out of you. I mean, it was so much foolishness. I don't think there was a way for him to really cut through and have the moments that I think he desired at the top.
That makes sense that people would say that.
And I think the people who lose are the American people who, you
yes,
know, as David
please
said,
let Joe Rogan moderate a
looking
fucking
for
debate.
Real direction or looking for
Please,
leadership.
God.
Joe Biden did the best he can, and frankly,
if you're out there,
gate, he did a much better job. By the end, it was clear
I don't want.
that even
I'm not
he was
asking
getting
for progressive policies. I'm not asking for social. I'm asking for you to just
deep breath.
Just
but he
let
had a
me
huge challenge
see
because
a Joe
Donald
Rogan
Trump really was a
Biden-Trump
disaster,
debate.
and I'm really afraid for our country. Unfortunately, if he wins another term,
Matthew
based on the performance.
Thank you, Yvette. Matthew Dad, you've worked for both Democrats and Republicans. Of course, you worked for President
This is
George
not
W.
a surprise,
Bush. Your
right?
thoughts?
All of this.
Well, I think this was an embarrassment. If you were in a foreign country, you look at our United States. Right
Yeah,
now,
absolutely. It's totally embarrassing.
And if you're sitting in our country,
it's genuinely.
It's embarrassing.
It was like an awful.
Falls directly at the feet of Donald Trump. I actually think there was a winner tonight, and that winner was Joe Biden. Because if you're president of the United States,
I don't know,
the
man.
incumbent, you have to convince people that everything.
I think I think both of them are embarrassing enough.
Another 4 years of this, and if
that you should just. I should have added a vote for no one.
The United States, debates, you're not thinking everything's great in America right now. So Joe Biden, yeah, he had good moments. He had some moments where he had a hard time dealing with this. And as I said going into this
yes,
debate,
he stuttered.
That Donald Trump's
not
a bull
even
in the
stuttered.
China
Stutter's
shop.
the wrong
well,
word.
The bull was let loose in the China shop.
He was
the
senile.
moderator tried as best they could to control it.
I'm
Joe
curious
Biden
how
tried to
the
fend it
approval
off.
ratings will be changed.
But when you look at the end of this, Donald Trump had to convince the American public that 4 more years of this is a good thing. The exact opposite conclusion, I think, they're going to come to.
I think,
after
honestly,
watching that debate.
Martha Raddatz, I don't envy anybody the job Chris.
It might have been a toss-up, and I think if Trump just like didn't, I'm gonna poll with no one. Okay, all right, I'll poll with no one. I think if Trump didn't fucking interrupt constantly, like he was selective about it, he would have like undoubtedly won. Trump, Biden, and no one. And of course, because this is a bourgeois democracy, you can add extra votes with your bits just to simulate how it actually works in the real world.
There was one man who was leaning towards Trump, but going into the debate tonight, he was leaning towards Biden, but he did not like the name calling. He did not like Biden dropping to the level, he said, of Donald Trump.
Oh, shit.
About the military tonight.
Didn't
As
like
you know,
Biden
George,
dropping to the level.
I'm in touch with a lot of
really?
people in the military. One of them said to me tonight, this is the most shameful interaction between two leaders ever. I am sad and ashamed.
Martha Raddatz, thanks very much. We got to take one more break. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I guess the people who are attached to like an ABC News pundit are probably not representative of. Oh yeah, Biden literally can't win. And I guess because fucking he'd stoop to Trump's level, not at all. Yes, sir. What did he do? He said, "Will you shut up?" What else? He said like, God, can this guy shut up? And then he said that he was a racist. And then he interrupted him like a little bit. He called him a clown. What are you supposed to do? Wait, what is the like the pro-respectability politics slant here? He called him a moron? Just take it? I don't understand. Said that he was yapping. Trump 2020 guys, but in the end, okay, thank you for spamming. You really owned us all. He called him a clown. Yeah, I don't.
We'll continue.
I want to see some genuine account of like opinion polls in relation to this. All right, let's look at let's look at 2016 debate highlights. I'm curious. I guess it's just what you do is you just lose.
I was against it once it was finally negotiated and the terms were laid out.
I mean, Hillary is like lucid.
You called it the gold standard.
Well, I hope
you called it the gold standard of trade deals. You said it's the finest deal you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what
Oh, of course. I mean, look at this. This is like stand back and stand. Yeah, I mean, they seeing it as an acknowledgement. Of course they are. I mean, that's smart by Trump, I guess. I don't fucking know.
I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Well, Donald, I know you live in your own reality, but that is not the fact.
And look at her website. You know what? It's no different than this. She's telling us how to fight ISIS. Just go to her website. She tells you how to fight ISIS on her website. I don't think General Douglas MacArthur would like that too much.
The next segment, we're continuing this.
Oh yeah, Trump is way more.
No, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do.
No, we're not.
See, you're telling the enemy everything you want to do. No wonder you've been fighting. No wonder you've been fighting ISIS your entire adult life.
Folks, go to the fact checkers. Get to work.
I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes. When she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted. As soon as she releases them, I will release.
Yeah, he's doing better here.
Tax returns, and that's against my lawyers. They say don't do it.
I think Hillary did way better in this than fucking Biden did tonight.
Well, I think you've just seen it.
So we have for the votes for who won, it's 21 for Trump, 9 for Biden, and 91 for no one, which means Trump wins, and no one, voters, if you guys had just, you know, sucked it up and voted for Biden, then he would have won and we wouldn't have to deal with this. So it's kind of your guys' fault.
Another example of bait and switch here. So you've got to ask yourself,
You guys had just sucked it up.
why won't he release his tax returns? And I think there may be a couple of reasons. First, maybe he's not as rich as he says he is. Second, maybe he's not as charitable as he claims to be. Or maybe he doesn't want the American people, all of you watching tonight, to know that he's paid nothing in federal taxes, because the only years that anybody's ever seen were a couple of years when he had to
Wait, I didn't realize the debate 4 years ago was about how he didn't pay federal
turn
taxes,
them over
and now it's still
to state authorities when he was trying to get a casino license, and they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So he has a long record.
She called that one, but it didn't matter, right? Like, how much do people...
of engaging in racist behavior.
Was I in high school? I was in first year of undergrad.
And the birther lie was a very hurtful one. You know, Barack Obama is a man of great dignity.
You push the birther lie. Okay, whatever. This is for Trump.
And
this
I could
isn't for Hillary.
tell
He gives a
how
shit
much
about
it
Hillary.
bothered him and annoyed him.
When you did it in
that
2008?
This was being touted and
When you released a
used
fucking
against
photo of him in Muslim garb?
First of all, I got to watch in
Sorry,
preparing for this
sorry.
some of your debates
No, this
against
is about
Barack
Trump.
Obama. You treated him with terrible disrespect. And I watched the way you talk now about
I think Trump
how
is
lovely
less
everything
attached
is
to
and how
reality.
wonderful you are. It doesn't work that way. So when you try to act holier than thou, it
That's a
really
good
doesn't
point.
work. It really doesn't.
That's the point I made, I guess.
The war in Iraq before the invasion. What makes your
I did not support the war in Iraq.
2002.
That is a mainstream media nonsense put out by her, because she, frankly, I think the best person in her campaign is mainstream media.
My question is, since you
would you like to
supported it,
hear?
why is your-
I was
why is your
against the war.
judgment-
Wait a minute. I was against the war in Iraq. Just so you put it out.
The record shows
And
otherwise.
The record
but why
does
is,
not show
why
that.
was you, is your
The
judgment
record
any?
shows that I'm right.
Earlier this month, you said she doesn't have, quote, a president.
I guess, see, Ray, so debating the moderator is the thing that he's always done then, right? And in fact...
Look, she's standing here right
Oh,
now.
yeah, the stance is something he's always done. I pointed this out at the start of the thing. He does that. He, like, leans on the fucking table like this. It's like a power stance.
What did you mean by that?
She doesn't have the look. She doesn't have the stamina. I said she doesn't have the stamina. And I don't believe she does have the stamina to be president.
Yeah, because Hillary did win these debates. Like, fairly objectively, it helped her approval rating against Trump. And I think, like, the debates with Biden are, if anything, going to do, like...
of this country.
Like, it's not going to be as bad for Trump, guaranteed.
You need tremendous stamina.
Well, as soon as he travels to 112 countries and negotiates a peace deal, a ceasefire, a release of dissidents,
it's not a
an
power
opening
stance.
of
That's
new
literally just how he stands.
opportunities
That's how his
in
weight is
nations around the
distributed.
world, or even spends 11
Distributed.
hours testifying in front of a congressional committee, he can talk to me about stamina.
But for Little Among Us, probably not on stream, because
Let
I'm
me tell
doing
you.
this
Let me
shit.
tell you.
But maybe afterwards.
Hillary has
some point tonight.
experience, but it's bad experience. We have made so many bad deals during the last... So she's got experience, that I agree, but it's bad experience.
You know, he tried to switch from looks to stamina, but this is a man who has called women pigs, slobs, and dogs.
My thanks to Hillary Clinton and to Donald Trump and to Hofstra University for...
All right, let's look at the next ones.
You brag that you have sexually assaulted women. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not proud of it. I apologize to my family. I apologize to the American people. If you look at Bill
We didn't
Clinton,
win the bingo.
far worse. Mine are words, and his was action. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women. And
That's correct.
attacked them viciously.
That
Four
is
of them
correct.
here tonight.
Yeah.
He has said that the video
Both Bill Clinton and Trump are rapists.
doesn't represent who he is, but I think it's clear to anyone who heard it that it represents exactly who he is. But he never apologizes for anything to anyone. He owes our country an apology. And he needs to take responsibility for his actions and his words.
Oh, this is
When
the
you
Ken
talk
Bone
about
stream.
apology, I think the one that you should really be apologizing for, and the thing that you should be apologizing for, are the 33,000 emails that you deleted and that you acid washed. And then the 2 boxes of emails and other things last week that were taken from an office and are now missing. I didn't think I'd say this, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah, no,
And I
Trump
hate
is
to say it,
performing much better in this
but
debate.
if I win, I am going to instruct my attorney general to get a special prosecutor
He's definitely...
to look into your situation, because there has never been so many lies.
He totally fucking
so
didn't do
much
that.
deception. There has never been anything like it.
It's just not true. And so please
you didn't delete them?
Allow her to respond, please.
Personal emails, not official.
33,000?
Well, we turned over 35,000. So
Oh, yeah.
it was.
What about the other 15,000?
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Yes, that's true. I didn't.
Because you
I
have
didn't
nothing
in
to
the
say.
first debate, and I'm
Oh,
gonna
I guess
try
he's
not to
always
in
done this
debate
shit.
because I'd like to get to the questions that the people
He's always
have brought
done that
here
shit.
tonight to talk to us about.
And get off this question.
Okay, Donald, I know you're into big diversion tonight, anything to avoid talking about your campaign and the way it's exploding and the way Republicans are leaving you. But let's
let's
at
see what
least
happens.
focus
Allow her
on
to
some of
respond.
the
That's much
issues.
better. That's a much better way of responding. Like, because what Biden does, his brain just breaks, and he's like, and then he just smiles and then looks down, and then Trump keeps talking.
That people care about tonight. You know, it is. It's just awfully good that someone.
Let Keemstar moderate.
with the temperament of
Absolutely.
Donald Trump is not in charge of the
We
law
need a
in
Keemstar moderator question, and he's like, well, what are you guys both gonna do about Israel Palestine? Because you know, if I was in charge, I'd let them. I'd teach them about John Legend Imagine, the song Imagine by John Legend. Why have neither of you introduced John Legend Imagine to Israel Palestine?
in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton,
That was a classic.
answer the question.
Why
Do
don't
you
you
still
interrupt
believe?
her? You
I
interrupt
do.
me all the time. Why don't you
Would you
interrupt her?
please explain whether or not the Muslim ban still stands?
It's called extreme vetting.
10 hours.
Oh, did he do? Okay. Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I would like to invite you on Trauma Alert for a debate.
I said that I was sorry about the way I talked about that because my argument is not with his supporters. It's with him and with the hateful and divisive campaign that he has run.
We have a divided nation because people like her, and believe me, she has tremendous hate in her heart. And when she said deplorables, she meant it.
Russia has
He's right.
decided that it's all in Syria. And they've also decided who they want to see become president of the United States, too, and it's not me. I've stood up to Russia. I've taken on Putin and others.
She talks tough against Russia. But our nuclear program has fallen way behind, and they've gone wild with their nuclear program. Not good.
Mr. Trump, let me repeat the question. If you were president, what would you do about Syria and the humanitarian crisis in Aleppo? And I want to remind you what your running mate said. He said provocations by Russia need to be met with American strength.
Okay. He and I haven't spoken, and I disagree. I disagree.
You disagree with
I think
your
we
running
can
Pence?
knock out ISIS.
Would either of you name one positive thing that you respect in one another?
What a
I
dumb
respect
fucking
his
question,
children.
man.
His children are incredibly able and devoted, and I think that says a lot about
Donald Trump
Donald.
spanks these lies about his
I will
weakness.
say this about Hillary. She doesn't quit. She doesn't give
Yeah,
up.
Trump does
respect
that. Because
I
he
tell it like it
understands
is.
some of the
but
fucking
she does fight hard,
criticisms.
and she doesn't
Well,
quit, and she doesn't give up. And
One
I
of the
can
reasons why Trump says shit like that sometimes is because he doesn't fucking care. He'll say literally whatever to create a reaction.
consider that to be a very good
And so
trait.
sometimes he'll say true shit. Like when Biden said he condemned the Green New Deal, he's like, you just lost the left. You lost the left. He lost his radical left. He needs the radical left to win. Okay. Yes, from this, and it's like not quite, because these are highlights compared to like we watched the whole thing. It seems like Hillary's a much better debater than Biden is and is able to deal with fucking Trump interrupting, because she had a functioning brain in 2016 and Biden sort of doesn't now. She was able to deal with him like interrupting a bunch with like, clapbacks or whatever.
I want to clear up your position on.
Yeah, but it was like there's a possibility. Yeah, Biden did too in 2016. Yeah, 2016 Biden would have been okay. There was a lot of that, like the fact that Biden or Trump was debating Wallace, which maybe doesn't look good. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to get in the mind of an undecided voter
on this issue, because in a speech you gave to a Brazilian bank for which you were paid $225,000, we've learned.
Oh, so this is the Wallace debate.
WikiLeaks that you said this, and I want to quote.
Let's see how much Trump debates Wallace in this one.
My dream is a hemispheric common market with open trade and open borders. So that's the question. That's the question. Please quiet, everybody. Is that your dream, open borders?
Well, if you went on to read the rest of the sentence, I was talking about energy. We trade more energy with our neighbors than we trade with the rest of the world combined. And I do want us to have an electric grid, an energy system that crosses borders. I think that would be a great benefit to us. But you are very clearly quoting from WikiLeaks, and what's really important about WikiLeaks is
my
that
fucking God, they're a
the
Russian asset.
Government
has
you engaged in espionage against Americans. They have hacked American
Assange is a Russian
American accounts of private people, of institutions. Then they have given that information to WikiLeaks for the purpose of putting it on the internet. This has come from the highest levels of the Russian government, clearly from Putin himself, in an effort, as 17 of our intelligence agencies have confirmed, to influence our election. So I actually think the most important question of this evening, Chris,
I forgot libs hate WikiLeaks.
Finally, will Donald Trump admit and condemn that the Russians are doing this and make it clear that he will not have the help of Putin in this election, that he rejects Russian espionage against Americans, which he actually encouraged in the past? Those are the questions we need answered. We've never had anything like this happen.
What happened with Assange's trial?
That was a great pivot off the fact.
There was some like psychologist that deemed that he was suicidal and needed
that
to
she
be
wants
on
open borders. Okay. How did we get onto Putin?
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. Wait.
That's a good point.
Because this is going to end up getting out of control. Let's try to keep
that was
it
a massive
quiet
pivot
for the candidates and for the American people.
So just to finish on the borders.
Yes.
She wants open borders. People are going to pour into our country. People are going to come in from Syria. She wants 550% more people than Barack Obama. And he has thousands and thousands of people. They have no idea where they come from. And you see, we are going to stop
here's the
radical
tweet.
Islamic terrorism in this country.
This is
she won't even
interesting.
mention the words, and neither will President Obama. So I just want to tell you, she wants open borders. Now we can talk
this
about
is
Putin.
all
I don't know
anecdotal.
Putin. He said nice things about me. If we got along well, that would be good. If Russia and the United States got along well and went after ISIS, that would be good. He has no respect for her. He has no respect for our president. And I'll tell you what, we're in very serious trouble because we have a country with tremendous numbers of nuclear warheads, 1,800, by the way, where they expanded and we didn't. 1,800 nuclear warheads. And she's playing chicken.
Oh,
Look,
wait, no, man.
Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't.
Yeah, Trump is definitely
the
aging.
Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America.
Like
that you
he's more there than
espionage against our people.
What's his name?
You are willing to spout the Putin line, sign up for his wish list, break up NATO, do whatever he wants to do, and that you continue.
Oh, this tweet. Here we go. This is interesting. I mean, all these are anecdotal. We won't have any like semblance of an understanding of the effects. Mom just texted me saying both sides are completely uncivil and she's not going to vote for Biden or Trump. She's a conservative. Was planning on Biden. That's, I mean, this is anecdotal, obviously. It's one person. But that's interesting. Uncivil. Huh. Because I guess Biden...
to get help from
Yeah, I
him
wonder...
because he has a very clear favorite in this race.
The debates could only hurt Biden. That's what I think, too.
So I think that this
I
is
think
such
if Biden could choose to not have the debates, it would be a rational choice for them to just go away. Obviously, without him rejecting the debates, which could be worse than like anything.
an unprecedented situation. We've never had.
Trump pulled Biden down to his level. Well, but he did that with Hillary too, and people didn't really care. But I think maybe Hillary handled it better because she's like competent. She has like a functioning non-senile brain. Whereas the only way Biden understands how to respond to that type of thing is like calling him a moron.
A foreign government trying.
Yeah, it's just like incoherent. Like
to interfere. In
Biden
our
just
election.
punched back. He told him to shut up. Yeah. I don't. I mean, I guess I'm so fucking far away from like my social position and understanding of politics is so fucking far away from like an undecided voter in 2020.
17 intelligence agencies, civilian and military, who have all concluded that these espionage attacks, these cyber attacks, come from the highest levels of the Kremlin, and they are designed to influence our election. I find that deeply disturbing,
Secretary
and
Clinton,
I think it's
she
time
has no
that you
idea
take a
whether it's
stand,
Russia,
because
China, or anybody
I am
else.
not
She
quoting
has
myself.
no idea.
I am quoting
Hillary, you
17.
have no
See?
idea.
17 intelligence. You
This
doubt
is much
17
better.
military
This is so much better than how Biden handled this shit.
He has
and
no idea.
civilian agencies. Well,
Yeah, I
he'd
doubt
rather
it. I doubt
believe
it.
Vladimir Putin than the military.
I mean, you know, I'm not talking about what even like not even looking at the content of what's going on.
and civilian intelligence
Because Biden would like when Trump would interrupt, he'd be like, "Come on," you know, and let Trump just talk.
professionals who are sworn to protect us. I find that just absolutely.
She doesn't like Putin because Putin has outsmarted her at every step of the way. Excuse me. Putin has outsmarted her.
Oh, so he
in
did do this
Syria.
too.
He's
I'm not a
outsmarted her
plant here.
every step of the way.
I do get to ask some questions.
Yes, that's
and I would
fine.
like to ask you this direct question.
Excuse
the top
me.
national security officials of this country do believe that Russia has been behind these hacks. Even if you don't know for sure whether they are, do you condemn any interference by Russia in the American election?
By Russia or anybody else.
You condemn their interference?
Of course I condemn. Of course I can. I don't know Putin. I have
I'm
no
not
idea.
asking you. I'm asking
I
you, do
never
you
met
condemn?
Putin. This is not my best friend. But if the United States got along with Russia, wouldn't be so bad. Let me tell you, Putin has outsmarted her and Obama at every single step of the way. Whether it's Syria, no, you name it, missiles. Take a look at the startup
Look at
that
all the
they
missiles,
signed.
folks.
The Russians have said, according to many, many reports, I can't
Yeah, if
believe
anyone
they
has
allowed
any
us to do
other
this.
like
They
anecdotes
create
about
warheads,
how people
and we
react to
can't.
this.
The Russians can't believe it. She has been outsmarted
Oh wow. Yeah, no, this is big for the Proud Boys. So it was Biden that mentioned the Proud Boys, right? Stand back and stand by, Proud Boys. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they fucking love this shit. I wonder how the Dems are gonna deal with this, because this is a clear indication that Trump won't like condemn people on the right, like, you know, right wing white supremacist groups or whatever. 7:40 p.m. I'm assuming this is real. Yeah. Portland-based reporter. Yeah. No, totally. First debate polling. Oh, let's look. Huh. Okay. Polling who won the debate. Biden 48, Trump 41. And then I guess, you know, the remaining 9% is no one. Interesting. So that's, yeah, okay. I sort of see that. I see that. Chat is biased. Chat, anyone who fucking tunes into this does not have the same opinion of, like, Trump or Biden that probably a majority of Americans, and especially undecided Americans, have. So that's not It's so hard to like
All cops are bad
imagine.
cops.
Warm loaf of brie. Thank you for the 2-1. It's so hard to like project what a fucking, you know. But still, like, you know, 41% of Trump isn't. Polls responded are lying to themselves. Biden was right 90% of the time, but so mumbled and incoherent. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. And there's no meaningful like fact check stuff. Same divide as always. Yeah, sort of. From this. I mean, that's always what happens with fucking debates. We're the radical left. Yeah. I mean, yes, literally. I mean, being like a Bernie sock dem is radical in American politics, right? The right wing element of the people who watch my stream are already the radical lefts. So of course this is gonna be different. Oh yeah, they're doing this shit again. Being a Trump poll watcher. And also, it's also important to highlight, people were expecting Biden to eat shit. I brought this up before. They were expecting him to eat shit. So a little bit of shit eating from Biden is like expected. Right? So yeah. 9% no winner is pretty big. What are the, let's look at, compare this to 2016. Is there any 2016 polls? Like 2016 first shows Clinton. Oh, it's literally the same. What are the numbers? I can't convert that into fucking, show me the numbers. But this isn't who won the debate though. Clinton 46, Trump 37. This isn't who won the debate. Longtime pollster on a focus group. Oh, this is a part of it. Trump should be debating Biden. Is there a consensus? Is Trump dominated and turn off undecided voters? And oh, huh. Okay, this is really interesting. This is what I wanted. No, yeah, let's read this. Group of undecided voters didn't mind Trump challenging Biden. They wanted to hear the questions from Chris Wallace. Trump is pushing too hard. Right. Biden should not have told Trump to shut up. Trump has rattled him, and it's not a good look for Biden. My group of undecided are telling me this is like reality TV. Except it's like the destruction. Okay. Vicious back and forth is hurting both candidates. Neither looks presidential. So that's actually, I linked that before from a Twitter mutual who said that's what their mom said. So I guess that's probably what a lot of undecideds think. Find this debate funny. I've honestly not laughed this hard in months. All right, maybe I was saying that we were very different than undecideds. Maybe we aren't. Being praised by my focus group for getting the candidates back under control. Couldn't care less about Trump's personal taxes. Interesting. They feel like the tax code is what's wrong. Most common voter response I'm hearing, which is really interesting considering a lot of the lib talking points around the $750, tax, $750 tax amounts was like saying that Trump was a bad billionaire and that he doesn't play by the rules unlike these other cool billionaires. I was talking to one of my billionaire friends and they said that Trump was a fraud. When like the leftist response, and I was saying this because when have I ever been wrong ever, is like, you should criticize the system. How is it the case that this happened? How could it possibly be that Trump could legally pay $750? I'm so sad for our country is their response. Because I don't conceive of this happening. Undecideds are correct. I don't conceive of this happening if Bernie's the fucking nominee. Voters want to hear about the candidates' plans for jobs. It's not about Hunter Biden or Trump family. Of course, people don't give a shit. Undecideds want to give... Look, wait, never mind. No, undecideds are cool. No, we like them. My group of undecideds want to give the moderator a mute mic switch. I was wrong. I just said that our chat is literally nothing like undecideds. debate is not just hurting my ears, but with candidates, it's hurting. We're almost done with the debate. The consensus is that Trump dominated and turned off undecided voters in the process. Convinced some undecided not to vote at all. I've never seen a debate cause reaction. Trump is defending himself, but he should be defending America. Biden is at his best when he's visionary, but instead he's fighting Trump. They both need better debate prep. I'm sure they have fine debate prep, but they're just like fucking getting off. Being an undecided voter is not the same as being a centrist. Being an undecided voter is not knowing who the fuck you want to vote for. This guy's 100% a Republican consultant, so take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I assume this guy's at least a centrist. It's interesting, almost exclusively with people I know on the right. Anything left is considered radical far left. Yeah, no difference between a Dem and yourself. Absolutely. That's how the fucking the Overton window is so far right that like a communist and Hillary and Joe Biden are seen as the same. Which is funny because it's like they were like the centrists were like, don't nominate Bernie Sanders, they're gonna call him a radical. And it's like any fucking Democrat they're gonna think is a radical. You're not like stand back to take a step back, stand by. I mean, I guess that's sure. Yeah, I mean, this is still interesting regardless. I'm sure this guy's like a respectable conservative. Joe Biden is supported by the radical hard left. I'm sure Trump said that 10 times. Yeah, no. He constantly says that. Biden is like the furthest right Dem there is, and they still think he's radical. Yeah. There's nothing you can fucking do. They're always gonna say that. What's this? Oh. He followed that with still he needs to do something about Antifa. Yeah, of course. That's not it. I wonder what people think of that. Go Joe is trending. Proud Boys 400,000 tweets. Oh yeah, based Antifa take by Biden. That Antifa is an idea, not an institution. I mean, the director of the FBI said that too. So based director of the FBI, I guess. Let me look at 2016 debate polls. Let's compare. Polling. Oh, but this is, I mean, that's like September, like we're in the same fucking spot we were 4 years ago. Like Trump called, yeah, the Socialist Manifesto stuff. I mean, that was, I'm so surprised they didn't have anything prepared for that with Biden. Because, like, I would have told him to prepare. However much that I've listened to fucking, Trump rallies, like the Socialist Manifesto stuff is like an obvious that he's like, you're a puppet of the communist Bernie Sanders or whatever. The fact that they didn't have prep for that, or that maybe Biden forgot his prep or something, I don't know. That seems troubling because that seems like a very obvious point that they're going to leverage. Biden dropped an inch. What did he say here?
Of dollars, and you'll get to see it. You'll get to see it. But let me just tell you, Chris, let me just tell you something. That it was the tax laws. I don't want to pay. Get to see it. But let me just tell you.
What did he say there? Like, was that?
And you'll get to see it. But let me just tell you.
In July? Maybe in July? I guess it was Inshallah. Brother Biden. Joe Hussein Biden. When it's the law, maybe? Yeah, I don't fucking know what he said. It's Inshallah. I believe it's Inshallah. Yeah, if anyone can find an opinion poll for the first night. Yeah, it was a stutter. Everything is a stutter. Did you get bingo? We didn't, sadly. We were so close. Folks, we were so fucking close to bingo. Yeah, if anyone can find some debate polling from who won the first presidential debate, I would like to know. I don't think he actually said inshallah. That doesn't strike me as something Biden would do. No, Deaf Fuel when no from 2016. Yes, thank you. Oh, wow, look. This is okay. Poll 62% say Clinton won, 27% say Trump did. So yeah, no, yeah. This was my suspicion. I didn't realize it was this stark. This is way 48%, 62%. So, I mean, and different methodology in polls, like there's probably some variation. It's relatively inconsistent. Because Hillary objectively won the debate, right? People thought she did better and it helped her campaign. I don't think that's going to be the case with Biden. I think from what we've seen, and this is like, I think the main effect that's going to happen is it's going to push more undecideds into not voting. When it's the law, yeah. When it's the law, that's probably it. And you sort of like slurred the it's the into sh. It's not like you can bring his ick. Yeah, I'm very curious how their debate prep is gonna how his debate prep is gonna change. For the next fucking debate. Yeah, but it's like Biden didn't fuck up really, really badly. But I don't think he did very well. I really don't think he did very well. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna probably end the stream. I'll raid Mike, friend of the stream, Central Committee. There's a post-presidential debate panel he's having with people. I'm not streaming tomorrow because I don't stream on Wednesdays, but I will be streaming on Thursdays. Join my Discord if you want. It'll like it'll ping you when I go live. When it's in the law. Oh, that's it. Ace, you're right. When it's in the law. I don't know how he would slur his words there to get that. But that's probably it. Okay, goodbye everyone. Thank you for watching the debate. We will be covering all the debates. We'll be watching all of them. Thank you for all the turnout. Make sure to follow me if you haven't and all that. And go watch more post debate coverage from Mike and others. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.